Hello and welcome back to the 2025 Orienteering World Cup. We're ready and already underway for our second race of this year's series, and it is the middle distance competitions. We're going to start with the men's race today before moving on to the women's. Now, they've already come through qualifying to get to these two A finals. That was on Wednesday with what they called a short and long distance race, provided the qualification for Thursday's long distance race and today's middle distance. It's the very overlapping part of the area today compared to the long, the same arena, but actually some different challenges that comes alongside with it being part of the middle distance race. It is fairly cold up in Idre Fjäll, 9 degrees, but good conditions then for the athletes as they make their way around the courses today. There's 6 kilometers for the men, 230 meters of climb. It'll be 5 kilometers for the women and 165 meters of climb. Jonas, it looks like it's going to be a really good competition today. Lots of technical orienteering.
Yeah, it's a lot of technical orienteering. It's kind of a different approach to this middle distance compared to the long distance. I mean, of course, in the long distance, we had two very, very long legs where it was all about the route choice and then executing it. Today, well, no route choices at all. The terrain is just not suitable for route choices in a middle distance because basically it's always quickest to go straight, but it will be so tough to execute it. Low visibility, very low visibility in parts, similar to what we have seen at the very beginning at the second control in the long distance. And this makes it so tough for the runners. You said it, competition already on the way. We have seen many mistakes already, so I think it's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, it really is. Get the GPS tracking up alongside. We'll show you lots of footage from our two TV controls in the forest, plus lots of GPS tracking as well, because we've already had quite a few runners around the course and already back to the finish as well. But let's give you a chance to see the course, to see the map here with our 3D terrain. You can see a lot of it at the start, very lumpy, bumpy, small hills. But Jonas, why don't you talk us through it?
As I said, especially in the very beginning, visibility is extremely low, young forest until second control. The course plan said it's almost dark at the control, it's so dense, so this is going to be tricky. Opens up a little bit after control 7 to 8, basically from a result of the World Cup we had 4 years ago. There they noticed that the runners had problems with controls where they actually didn't have any contours, so that was the plan between 7 and 8. Going back into similar, after the map flip, going back into similar area as they were in the start, TV control, then again at control 13. From 15, it opens up a bit. We remember the picture from the last control, second last control at the long distance. It's 16, 17, 18, rather easy controls. But especially the beginning from 1 to 7 and then back from like 10 to 14 is going to be very, very difficult because visibility is so low.
Just to keep an eye on this. This, I think, has not got the extension of the men's course. The men's course is a little bit further. Yeah. I think this is the women's course that we've got on our screen. So where the control 13 is, it's actually control number 16 for the men. So that's what we will keep looking at. Both the courses very, very similar, the same characteristics. So all that Jonas has said still applies. We now have this kind of 3D mock-up animation of giving you a little bit of a sense of what the terrain is kind of like in this section. And this one, you've got lots of those small spurs and re-entrance, but a lot of contour detail to read, which can be tricky for some, but actually, as you said, compared to where we have fewer contour features, there is a lot to work with. There's a lot to go off to aid your accurate navigation. The trick is doing it quickly.
The tricky part is actually, but because the visibility is so low, you have to really have map contact all the time. If you leave it, relocation is so difficult if visibility is low. You have so many features, it looks exactly the same everywhere. This actually is one of the more open parts where we are at here. It's downhill, quite far away. It's almost in the north of the course, on the very north. Visibility is okay, but even here you can see that if you lose track here, relocating is difficult because, yeah, if you look around, you don't see the contours further away than like 20, 30 meters. So you have to move in order to relocate. The runnability is quite okay here. You have a bit of fallen trees and wood on the floor, but otherwise that's not the problem. The problem is visibility and relocate. So if you lose track and if you lose map contact, it makes it very, very difficult.
Yeah, and that can lead to some big mistakes, like ones we've already seen out there. The start list is based on the results from the long distance, which means we've had a trio of very, very early starters. Erik Langedal Breivik, who did not finish the long distance, and then Luca Basset from France, Albin Riedefeld from Sweden. Both of those two did not run the long distance at all. They opted just to run the middle distance. So we've already had some of, you know, favorites possibly for this race start very, very early on. And then,
I
of
mean,
course, we get to our other favorites as you come to the very end of the start list.
we have Langedal Breivik. He won both the European champs and the last World Cup competition in Middleton. So of course he's a favorite for this one. Had an early start due to the fact that he jumped off the long distance. But then of course, as you said, the start list based on the result from the long distance. So the runners in good shape, they should come towards the end, and the biggest favorites may be here, except
Mhm.
for exactly the three runners you have been, you named before, because those didn't have to go through the whole long distance, which was a tough one. So physically, an advantage. Maybe, I mean, Breivik was out a little bit. He got to kind of feel the terrain, but maybe it's a bit of a disadvantage to not have started. But Basse had a
But
good
Brett
run,
Bassett,
actually.
he's had a really good run. Maybe
Yeah.
you can talk about a few seconds he could have improved here and there, but no
But
big mistakes at all.
you could
He
see
was
that
really
Breivik
fast.
and Riedefeld both had big problems at some
Mhm.
points, and he really got
Breivik
through it.
had a mistake at control 8. That's where he
Eight.
lost most of his time. He was
Mm.
right on direction, then just kind of seemed to have a bit of a panic. And Riedefeld, I think his problem started earlier on.
He had problems at 8 and 14, Riedefeld. So both of them had problems, and both of them are favorites. So I think if you get through it without any very big mistake, that's already quite good. You can see Basse 1.5 minutes ahead of Riedefeld and 4 minutes ahead of Erik Langedal Breivik.
Yeah, so they already making mistakes there. You can drop quite a lot of times. This is a little bit of a look at then this
Mm.
route for Albin Riedefeld for control number 14. It's like kind of a long leg coming back towards the arena, and he was
That's what I said.
online.
But it's so hard to relocate. I mean, he was online, but distance, he was not really aware of the distance. Then he had to relocate, and what should he do? He has to leave the area. He has to go drop down and try to relocate someone else, because in this area there it looks exactly the same. This is the recap of the three of them. You can see that Basse has good speed through the tricky controls already in the beginning. So as Breivik, but Breivik a bit off direction to the fifth control, 6 then TV control. Uphill to 7, one of the controls that the course planner thought would be difficult. I haven't seen many runners struggling with
So
this
with
one so
7,
far.
I don't know where you've been looking because I've seen loads of people struggling, just not these top
Yeah,
guys.
Löfald. I've seen
Yeah.
Löfald, but otherwise, not the big mistakes. More in the beginning. Breivik struggled a lot at 8. So here it's basically Basse and Riedefeld that are in the fight here, and then the mistake again to control 14 of Albin Riedefeld. But this is a tricky one because you run in the slope and you can see there are many re-entrants. You have to kind of count them and keep distance. Have to keep height. You have to fight through the bushy areas. Makes it harder to keep height as well, because every now and then you have to go and avoid a bit of the greener bits to the left or to the right. So very tricky control 14.
So this is live then at the start. Tuukka Sepä from Finland on his way out of the start gate. Not too tricky the first control, but then you get into that section with as you said, more of the denser forest, things like that. I mean, and the athletes now, they've had the long distance race here, they've had the qualification. Many of them will be racing at the World Cup here 4 years ago. They'll kind of know how the visibility can vary so much in this terrain now, won't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the qualification wasn't that relevant, I would say, for this race, more for bits of the long distance. But the World Cup competition 4 years ago, actually, the start point was just about 100 meters away from the start point today. But then they went more into the slope, in towards the hill that we had the long route, the second long route, above or around it, the long distance. So not exactly the same area, but of course, yeah, you got a feeling about the visibility and how it can change, for that. It's, of course, I mean, it's quite natural. You're close to a fjell, you get close to the to kind of the vegetation boundary where, um, yeah, trees don't grow anymore. So the trees are quite low already on this height, and of course, if you have low trees, visibility gets lower as well.
Let's look Captain into the finish, and clearly he just
Is it
wants to keep
kind of
running past the
injury?
finish line. He looks injured, yeah, he definitely does
Uh,
there. You can tell he was, I think, putting his weight differently on each of those steps. Anders Vestel next to start from Norway. And we have huge teams here at these competitions, huge national teams. You could take up to 18 runners. So Sweden, Switzerland, Norway, Finland, Denmark all got the full quota of 18 runners. Sweden and Switzerland had all of their runners into the finals with four heat winners indeed from Sweden, from the home nation. So they, of course, will have been very happy to get all of their runners into the A finals. Look, Marty, this is control number 5 to number 6, a very picturesque part of the forest alongside this small pond, across the marsh, as you can see there in the open, and up to this control. This is the 6th control.
yeah, this is just after the area where visibility was so bad. Now he's climbing up towards control 7, where I said that we didn't have so many runners with struggles. Of course, yeah, in the very beginning there were runners struggling, but I don't think we'll see so many mistakes on 7 as on other, like on 14 or 3, 4,
And
because
why is
basically you have to
that?
climb. Yeah,
Mm.
it's easier. You climb up the hill, you come from below. If you run parallel to the slope, you have to count the re-entrance and stuff. If you work good with direction, and distance here, it shouldn't be such a big problem. But well, even the course planner said it is difficult because of the within the circle, because the visibility is so low. So yeah, you can miss it, of course.
But you see these standings here at this point, it's still very tight between these runners when you compare to the margins at the very end of the course. And it shows you that not many of the runners are having too many problems on this first part to number 6, to this is number 5, you can see in the picture now, to where we get the time split at number 6. It's after that, where you're in the slope, that more people are having problems.
Mhm. Elias Kuka, quite an okay start into the competition. You can see it here. Had struggles with injuries throughout the last season.
But yeah, this is a very good start here at the moment. Only 18 seconds slower than Luca Basse, who is our current leader at the finish. Let's get a comparison. This is Ronkanen.
Mm,
So small
A
miss at
little bit,
control 2.
yeah, you can see that it's important that you work well with direction. Makes it much easier to tick off the features you want to see. And of course, in the place where he's right now, very hard to relocate. I think he went all the way to the marsh as soon as he could spot the marsh. Of course, makes it much easier. Jakob Steinthal, 3 to 4. Yeah, too
Ooh.
high up.
Hmm.
And then
And when you're,
he could see the power line up there. And
mm,
it is like that. If you start to do a mistake here, and basically you don't know if you have to go to the left or to the right, you have to zoom out and look for bigger features a bit further away, because otherwise you're just taking a chance.
but when you're crossing the slope and you're going up and down, through all those spurs and re-entrance, it's really hard to keep that height, which is obviously kind of what you needed to do for that control. If you're going to go straight, obviously.
Yeah, of course. That's also the problem from 13 to 14. It is
Mm.
running parallel to a slope that has many re-entrances. So tempting to just fall down a little bit or to climb a bit too much if something is in your way. So yeah, that's of course that's the whole difficulty on these legs.
Yeah, lots of difficulty on, like, variety of difficulty on the legs. It means it's going to be such a technical and tough middle distance race. As you see, Sigurd Poulsen Via from Norway out to the start. Quite a short section to the start control itself, then plunging straight into the forest. And we kind of see them disappear through the trees into the distance. And we'll keep track of them on the GPS. This is Luke Fisher. So split number 2 is control number 16. And yeah, some of these slopes are quite steep in here. This gives you a sense of the visibility as well as he approaches the control. Basse had a small mistake here. Luke Fisher, see, you made a mistake at the 8th control, but otherwise looking okay. And we've also got Linus Egevi Christiansen on his way in here at the swell.
I think talking
He's
about
actually
Luca
caught up a
Bessi,
couple of minutes. Yes.
I think we can hear from him in just a short while.
I'm here with Luca Vassi, early leader in the men's class. Luca, tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was quite good considering the terrain. It's super tricky terrain, very variating and yeah, technical. So I didn't do a perfect one. I missed already at fourth control, and then a couple of small mistakes further on. But I avoided the bigger ones, which I think was key today. I hope not so many can do the same, but it's really hard to say. It's a good race, I think, considering the terrain. Maybe I'm disappointing later when I see that I miss on. A great thing because of small mistakes, but right now I'm happy.
And what do you think is most important to get through the course without mistakes today? What's the most crucial things to do right?
Yeah, be able to slow down when you start to be insecure. I think you have to reduce the uncertainty as soon as they come, and yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, slowing down is not easy, or at least stopping is not easy, and I think that was the key today. And also reading the map as well at the same time as you run in the stony terrain. That's not easy. So yeah, it's a combination of both stopping and pushing while reading the map. That's hard today. That was hard today.
We saw a big French smile from you when you passed the finish line. How far do you think you'll get up in the results today?
Yeah, I have no idea. I think it will be top 10, but I mean we start early, so they will maybe tracks as well in the end. I don't know. Sometimes it's more than 1 minute difference for the last starters. Maybe today it won't be that much, but I don't know. And then the mistakes. I lost more than 1 minute today, so I don't know. But yeah, hope for at least top 10. Hopefully better.
Thank you, Luca.
Yeah, thank you.
That's very interesting that someone actually answers that question with a figure. Mostly they just go, oh, I don't know. And then he said, oh, I don't know, and top 10, which is,
Yeah,
it's quite fun. We'll see if he's right. I think he could be.
but it's a difference if you ask the questions to someone that actually has been in the top 10 before compared to if you ask someone that has been maybe top 25 before. He knows how it is to win world championships medals and how good you have to run, how good your run has to be. So I think it's a bit easier for him, but I thought it was interesting to hear from him that Well, the biggest difficulty today is to actually dare to slow down when you need it, when you get the warning signals. Well, yeah, because it is so hard to relocate once you get unsecure.
Yeah, you have to put a lot of effort, as let's just take Johnny Donner into the finish here. The Finn should be here into third place, so ahead of the European middle distance champion Erik Langedal Breivik. Good run here. He will still be over 3 minutes down on Luca Basset, but powering here into the finish. And third place in the end. But yeah, if you're going to, you need to pick up and you need to read all that detail. You need to have quite a lot of map contact in order to, you know, to not make those mistakes. And that means slowing down so you can read a lot of the detail, I guess. Joe Lynch into seventh place for New Zealand,
And
6 minutes down.
I mean, combine that with the fact that, as he said, that it's very stony and rough to run in, that's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, because you have to keep looking where you're going. There's so few opportunities to actually read the map. So we can take the comparison with Luca Basset, who's our current leader, just heard from him there, with Elias Kuka from Finland, and their routes into control number 8.
Can see Kuka tries to go on direction, now gets a little bit unsecure about the distance, starts hesitating a little bit early. If you would like to take this one safe, you could just run 20-30 meters more up the hill compared to Kuka, because then you would start to see this hill, and if you get that hill, I mean, the control is not difficult, but then you would need to put in 5 seconds well, that you have to invest. Would have been worth for him. It's hard to do because if you just look at the map, it doesn't look like the most difficult control. You get a feeling that maybe I see this kind of terrace and then I will get to control, but actually I think it would be a good thing to see this hill to the left as well. Won't cost you much to do so, but you have to climb an extra 5 meters.
This is Timo Sild from Estonia, just punching the 6th control. Still in a good position there, 25 seconds slower than Basset. Although Basset thinks he made minutes worth of mistakes. They were small ones, kind of in the circle approaching the controls, but it meant that he didn't make any big mistakes. And so, yeah, so I got a question about this 8th control. A lot of people are stopping too short and then going either up or down the slope, kind of seem to be not knowing where they are, like quite early on in the leg. Why do you think that is?
It's very hard to say, but you don't have a clear line. Of course, you can see that there's a spur coming that should kind of stop you. Maybe you can see there's a small spur a few meters before the circle starts, so a re-entrant and a spur. It's just a small one. Maybe this one is a bit more clear in the terrain than it is on the map, so that you get a feeling that you're already at the border of the circle and start to get in. But it's very hard to exactly know what happens if you haven't been out in the forest.
And I think I wonder as well if, you know, they're climbing quite a lot on the leg, then going flatter, just and with the lack of visibility as well. Although it's a bit more, we think it's a bit more open around there. It is hard to judge your distance moving through the terrain.
Yes, it is. But my feeling would be that you would, in that case, that the risk of overshooting the control would be bigger because it's the first time. I mean, you don't have to avoid those re-entrances. It looks quite straightforward. So my feeling would be that you could actually run quicker on this one than before. So you shouldn't stop too early then.
Yes, it's we'll keep an eye on that 8th control as well. As Tobler from Austria plunges at the 16th control. Our second TV split. This is Mariani here from Italy, Francesco Mariani into the finish. It's been a tricky one for him today. You can see down in about 20th position.
And this is a new best time in the B final. Coming into the finish.
Yeah, he had some mistakes to the second control, I think that was, for Mariani, and to the third. And to the 12th control as well, climbing up quite high. This just shows, you know, how many mistakes we're talking about. I know it's from the first runners, the kind of earlier starters here, but it just shows how tricky it is. Contandrier next to start from France. Quite a good set of results for the French men in the long distance. And obviously a Frenchman leading at the moment with Luca Basset in the leader's chair at the finish. So first opportunity to get a look at the map as they race out of the start gate, folding the map nice and tight to focus on just a small area. Then obviously taking those few meters to the start control itself where the navigation starts. And you can take a bearing out to the first control. Let's look at Mariani then. So we just saw him at the finish out in about 20th place, 15 minutes down, and this control is one of the ones to blame.
Yeah, now we
Which
couldn't
we're not
see
going to
it
see.
because you have Ricardo Rancan in the picture.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
yeah. I mean, he's not been competing so much in the forest. I think 16th is his best World Cup result in the forest. In the long distance, in the middle distance, it's a 20th position. Is much stronger in sprint, or he has been throughout the last years at least.
yeah, knockout sprint world champion from Edinburgh, but he's a minute down on Basset here at this first TV control. And didn't seem to make too many errors as far as I can see on the tracking for Rankin. Let's catch up with
Again,
Mariani's mistake.
yeah, you can see that he's climbing too much. I mean, he didn't have good direction, then he's climbing too much and doing parallel mistake. Now he thinks that he is around the hill there, just, yeah, in this, basically within the circle or just before the circle, and makes it so hard to relocate. Joey Haddon, interesting for Joey. He won the middle distance 2021 in Idre, so he should be able to handle this kind of terrain. Didn't have the
Yes.
best day though in the long distance. Felt that physically he wasn't really there.
No, he was second in the World Champs middle distance a couple of years ago in Switzerland as well. So got a lot of potential, but maybe the speed's still important for the middle, but maybe if you need to kind of slow down and just get the navigation right, then it could be more helpful for him. Linus Ego Christensen then into the finish. Battling for, I think he's just later than that, third place from Johnny Donner from Finland. But a good race here for the Dane.
Timo Pantalini, 42-44, 5:45 behind Luca Basset, and Linus Agervik Christiansson from Denmark into the finish. And
So
Linus,
going to come into fourth place.
40:59 into fourth position right now for Linus. 4 minutes flat behind.
I mean, we shouldn't forget that we compare those runners to a runner that's leading and most probably ending up in the top 10. So Luca Basset had a really good run. If runners like Linus Hagevi Christiansen are almost 4 minutes behind, that's not so strange. They usually are 2.5 to 4 minutes behind in the middle distance. So it's a bit misleading that we have had really, really strong runners that early in the competition.
And that's because they didn't run the long distance. That's why Luca Basset and Albin Riedefeld both started so early. They did the qualification and then they decided just to focus on the middle distance for both of these two. So it means they started really early on because the start list is determined by the long distance results. It's fairly complicated. Here's Jakub Chalupsky from Czechia on his way into the finish. A twice JWOC champion a couple of years ago. 2 golds in Romania, including in the long distance, and a silver medal in the middle distance. So a talent to watch coming through now into the senior ranks.
Thank you, Oscar, and well done.
Thank you so much.
And he's going to end up into 3rd place. So great job there from the young Czech athlete. Yes, I'm clearly very happy with that one as well. Okay, going from one Czech to another, here's Wojtek Kral. Again, more known as a sprinter. Got some World Cup wins from when the knockout sprint kind of first debuted on the World Cup circuit.
His best result in the middle distance is a 4th, I think back in 2018.
And yeah, he's a minute down here. Had a mistake to the second control. It was too far left. But he's caught up with Sander Arntzen, who started 2 minutes before him. So the Czech and the Norwegian in together. So waiting at this next control. This is the 6th control. Looking for Loic Marty, but I think we'll see a couple of others there first. Waiting by this small re-entrant next to the steep slope. Should be dropping down the slope. Here is
Marty. It's a very good start for Loic Marty, actually.
In fact, this is the 15th controls. This is the one before we get the TV split. So you can follow him through on the running camera.
Yeah, lost a little bit time now from the pre-warning. It was about 1:38 behind there.
Yeah, he didn't have very good direction to this control, to the 15th. And now going through the undergrowth here, through to the 16th.
And basically 15th control should be very easy because you have the power line. That helps you a lot there.
Yeah, the pylons for the power line are marked, as you can see there on the picture. So we can compare Luca Basser, current leader, with Timo Silds and Arntzen, who we know has already been caught up. That's why. Mistake to number 2. He's been already caught up 2 minutes.
Just a bit off direction, and then again, problems relocating from towards control 3 is running out towards this vegetation boundary. I think that's a good idea. Then you get help with direction and a clear feature to follow. But yeah, I mean, a big mistake to the second control already.
Back at the start, this is Thomas Krivda, the best of the Czechs, about to begin his race. You can see getting ready to start his watch as the time ticks down. Opens up quite a big map, a double-sided one for both the men's and the women's courses. It's because they kind of go back on themselves. They kind of go out to a point to turn around and come back. A different route. And drops straight into the forest. Michaela Lednik from Poland into the finish here in the top 10 at the moment, 5 minutes down on Luca Basset.
Idre Fjäll in second, 1:27 behind, and Jakub Chalupsky, Czechia in third, 3:39 behind. And still the current leader, Luca Basset. He will stay there for a while.
So Luca Basse hanging out there. Gets the respect for Michaela Lejnik. So let's have a little look at the runners here, and I think we'll take a look at Loic Marty, who makes a mistake to the 15th, as you can see.
Yeah, you could see that he was running towards the wrong, what do you call it, the pole from the power line.
Yeah, pylon, yeah.
Pylon following it. Interesting, I thought that Marty towards control 14 dropped quite a lot so that he almost could see this small pond where he had the TV control at as well. At least he was low enough to kind of recognize where he had been just after the TV control.
Aro Aho next to start from Finland. And a reminder, if you're listening to our long broadcast, you'll have heard us mention a lot of times that not all the Finns are here competing at this World Cup, because almost every single one of them who's been selected for their home World Championships in about 3 weeks' time have stayed in Finland to continue their training. It's only Idre Fjäll who's come out to do this race as well as the World Championships. So lots of those who were on the edge of making the team have come through here to this World Cup, but they've performed very well and just shows the depth in the Finnish team,
And
as we see another couple of Finns through.
Yeah, and he is actually doing really good. Touko Sepä
Yeah,
was
he's
only
caught up
26 seconds
quicker.
behind at the pre-warning. So he has a few steps to go towards the TV control, but he won't be that far off from the time of Luca Bassi.
No, he's on his way to the 16th. He's caught up his teammates, Elias Kuka. Okay, we'll get that good feedback. You can see here he is not going to be as quick as Basse, but he's going to be the closest one yet. Here we go, into the control, very close. And the time, 41 seconds behind Luca Basse at the moment.
This is
Very
Mathieu
good run so
Perrin.
far.
He had also very good start into the race. This is a control 6, so the first TV control, and actually he's quicker than his teammate Luca Basse.
Yeah, very attacking start, looks very direct on all of his routes and rewarded with a new fastest time. So the first one to go faster than Luca Basse is one of his teammates. Let's look at Perrin then here, compare it to Touko Sepä, who just seen as well.
Yeah.
So Basse
Sepä
fastest
with
in
a
the start.
small direction mistake to control 1. See Basse still ahead of Perrin at control 3. Then Perrin. The very good leg to control 4. That's basically where he made the difference between him and Basse. And now on the way up to 7. Of course, there's still many controls to come for Mathieu Perrin.
Yeah, and some of the trickiest ones, but it's a job well done so far. That GPS does highlight Basse's kind of mistake at control 4. He just kind of stopped in the middle of the leg. Next to start, Daniel Hubman from Switzerland. He has got 33 World Cup golds in his time. First being in 2005. And actually, this technical terrain could really suit him.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say that. He's not the youngest runner anymore, so physically, well, he's not among the best anymore, but in a terrain like this, when really you really win by having experience. I mean, he has been here before. He knows how he has to tackle technical terrain, and as you said, I think the physical, yeah, I mean, the physical part doesn't play out so much here, so I think he could do really good. And Joey Hardorn seemed to be hesitating a little bit.
I think more than just hesitating a little bit, because he's
he
had
made
to
a
go
mistake
out to the power line to then go back
and
in. He's looking
relocate.
for the 15th control. He's really close. But he's had to come.
Dropped a
There we go.
little bit
Let's have a
more
look.
though. Yeah,
Oh my
he
gosh, he's
doesn't
still on
really
his way to.
care.
Hang on, he's still on his way to
15.
3.
Yeah. Oh, to 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But he got
I was like,
control
here.
15.
I was gonna say he hasn't.
No,
Didn't
he's on the way
start
to
that
2.
long ago.
He's on the way to 2 actually.
No.
Well, he hasn't been there, right?
Yeah.
Where's the women's control?
I was just gonna
At this
say,
one?
is the women's control in the same
Yeah, I think he
place?
punched the women's control. Just where he turned to the very east, so closest to control 2, there's the women's control. So I think he punched the women's control, then continued. And then, of course, if you start from the women's control reading to the next one, you're not reading from the right position. So then you did a mistake to the next control.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's the end of Hadon's race. We'll
And
try and
yeah,
catch up and see if, because he won't know. Well, he won't know that he's not. Clearly, he doesn't know that he's got the wrong
no.
number 2.
He didn't check
And
the control number. But he
no.
is still in the fight for a starting place at the World Championship, so that's really tough for him.
It's Timo Sild through here into control number 16. Just approaching here. Running alongside Anders Vestol. And Timo Sild, great run here. Very similar time to Seppa, who will be at the finish very shortly. Okay, Hadon here. Looks like he's probably found the 3rd control, I guess.
Yeah.
He must
But,
have
well,
done, but
it won't help him.
no.
It's strange how he suddenly, I mean, he was on a very good direction to control 2, and then suddenly he changed direction towards the women's control. Hard to explain.
If you don't, I guess if you don't have the confidence that you've done your bearing well, you start kind of panicking by the end. You start looking for features, and then you start thinking that you're not on the actual line. And he was bang on the red line. It was spot on. So Sigurd Posenvia from Norway on his way to the 16th control. I mean, we had a running cam in this area. This is where we could catch up with Hadon and see what was going wrong. But for this Norwegian here, it looks all right.
Yeah, looks very good for Sigurd Posenvia. Had a good spring season and a good opening into this competition. Just a few seconds behind Luca Besset. Actually,
yeah,
he punched the TV control 4 seconds behind Luca.
So at the finish then, waiting for more runners to come and complete their races. Let's have a look at one of the, it must be a mistake then, because we're looking for Ricardo Rancan. Look how close he was on the line, and then, yeah, just
actually
kind of fell too short.
He did what
he's running back. What?
Yeah, I did what I said. He did what I said he could do. You could go up to this hill, try to get some help there, but he must have lost track over the distance completely, because once he started hesitating, he had no idea how far he had gone already. Tried to back down, but then of course you don't get any features up there, so that's probably the worst place to get lost, because where should you relocate? There's nothing there.
Look, Martin next to the finish. And will be outside that top 3, but not by loads. You'll be about 4 minutes behind the current leader, still Luca Basset.
Lost about 2 minutes from the second TV control to the finish. Was 2 minutes behind there, 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Jones, right
be
there.
precise.
1 minute and 4 seconds. Into sixth position, 4 minutes and 5 seconds behind. And soon 30
Yeah, he
minutes
made a
running
small
for
miss to
Stephen
the
Paulsen Lee.
18th control, not too much. Hard to tell, but anyway, into the sixth position, just ahead of Erik Langedal Breivik.
Now I got the punch at the pre-warning from Coco Seppe from Finland. He was 41.
Let's take Daniel Hubman then to the sixth control. We said this might be the type of terrain that suits him, very, very technical. And we'll see whether that is the case when he gets to the next control. This is control number 5. And we will get the time check at number 6. You've got to go around this pond, cross the marsh, and then onto the side of a small hill. It's a form line hill. And he's going to come into a decent start. But if we remember that some of those ahead had made mistakes, Basset, small mistake, but Hubman there, 30 seconds down into 7th. Not a bad start.
Oh, that's a good start for Hubman. I mean, 30 seconds, no bigger mistakes. If he continues like this, he will at least get a good position in the finish.
Gustav Bowen next to start. And I've kind of alluded to this a couple of times, both the Swiss team and the Swedish team. There is lots at stake here in these races because there's selection for the World Championships.
Not for
Used
him,
as
though.
part of
He
that
is
selection race.
pre-selected. So
Okay, let's
there's
check.
Pausen Vie compared to Basse, small mistake to 11. And a small mistake to 12 by Basse, but well, not much separates them at 13.
Basset is, yeah,
Good.
good through there, stayed quite low into 14. This is Tuko Seppa then. Let's see how he is able to fare because he's going to come here into second place then. This is a great run from the Finn who was equally into like only a few seconds behind, about this 40 seconds behind at TV control number 2, so not lost too much time at the end here. I think it shows that Basset had a really good end to this race, but Tuko Seppa into second place. Closest one to Luca Basset so far, with as you saw there, Sigo Posavia also very, very soon to come to the finish. In fact, he should be here in the next 2 minutes, the Norwegian, see whether he's going to be able to challenge that time of Luca Basset. Heading to the start here, this is Olli Ojanaho, ready to begin his campaign. He was the best of the Finns in the long distance race. But get a sense that his speed, his fitness is not as it was a couple of years ago. But he actually keeps going, running up the power lines for a little bit further. Some of those have done that, we can tell from the GPS tracking. Not many that we've seen. Back out towards control 5 and 6 then. And that is where we took the split 1 standings. So Mathieu Perrin, the faster than Luca Basset at the moment. But still quite close here. We've seen the bigger mistakes generally in the second part of the course. And I think we're about to just see one now. This is Wojtek Kral.
That surprises me a little bit because he should almost be able to see this pond from where he was. So he should get an idea, or at least he should remember that he was there towards the TV control. So they had this control at the pond. He crosses that line he was running towards, and he was running towards control 7. Yeah, that's a really good chance to get a hint that you're too low in the slope there. But of course, if you don't expect to be that low, you might not look to the left either.
Simon Imark, the next of the Swedes to begin on his home soil, straight out into the forest, taking this short line here. Goes quite far to the right. Let's catch up then, looking for Simon Hector, and he's caught up 2 minutes on Thomas Heikkilä, the Finn, you can see in the right of picture, who had a very strange direction out of the first control. But Simon Hector has done a good, clean job here. We'll get his time at the next control, see how fast he's managed to be on this first section of the course.
I think it's only the second race in the forest on a World Cup competition for Thomas Heikkilä.
It's the third if you count the middle distance in Guangzhou in China, but that was almost like a sprint terrain, so that was quite special.
This is Timo Sild on the way to the finish. He's going to end up in third position, I guess.
Yep, I think he must do. He has been in that similar position all the way around. He's in fourth place at TV2, going to come here into third, into second even. So he's caught up. Wow, he had a very fast finish because he's caught up a place there.
And very interesting, very, very soon we're going to have Sigurd Paulsen Via.
Yeah,
do the finish.
Him at the finish. I got distracted by the Norwegian kit. But he should be into the finish very, very soon if he's going to be able to challenge that time of Luca Basse. In the next minute, we should see him. And here he is. Let's catch him then all the way to the finish. Sigurd Paulsen Via. Can he take the lead away from Luca Basse? We will wait and see. He's really got his head down, pumping those arms. You can see just the level of speed they're able to pick up on this last section of the course, definitely compared to the long distance as well. Fighting hard for all the seconds here. Oh, it's going to be close, I think, for the Norwegian. Can he just sneak in ahead of Luca Basse from France? Only 10 seconds to go on this run-in now. It's going to be super close for this Norwegian. He was 4 seconds behind at the TV2. He dropped a little bit more time after that, and it's not quite going to be enough for Sigurd Paulsen Via. He's only going to be, 6 seconds behind in the end.
Actually,
so tough because he caught up
9 seconds from the pre-warning.
From the pre-warning. So he's had a really fast finish.
Very good development here for Sigurd Paulsen Via. I mean, last year he was basically not even running the World Cup races. Now he's really up there fighting for, well, top 10 position.
So Gustav Bergman here at the TV split number 1, and just about to get his time, see how it's managed to go on those first few controls for Gustav Bergman. And it's a very good start, I think, here. Definitely to be matching Perrin, be quicker than Basse, who's our current leader at the finish. This is a great start here for Gustav Bergman. He'd be pleased with that.
And I think we're going to hear a little bit from Touko Seppa in the finish.
And I'm here with Finland's Touko Seppa, just knocked down to 4th place. I think now, Touko, how satisfied are you with your race?
I think I was quite stable there, I have to say. I felt slow at times, but it was a quite rocky terrain, but it was quite stable, some small mistakes to a few controls, but I think it was quite stable.
I think we see a lot of mistakes to control 8, the long leg on the slope. What's so difficult out there?
I think you start to weight it quite early. You expect there to be this hill on the left, hilltop, but you maybe kind of imagine that it has been there earlier than it's supposed to be. I was there also a bit struggling for 20-30 seconds, but I think you have to be just patient and trust your compass.
And your hopes for the result today?
I guess top 20 is maybe there, maybe top 25.
We'll see. Thank you, Toko.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to get an indication of the difficulties of that leg 2 control number 8. This is Mathieu Perrin here. And as we remember, at the first TV control, he was ahead of Luca Basse. So he's on his way. Here he is there at control 15. And we'll follow him through to 16 where we get the time check, because this is very, very crucial. He had a fantastic start to the race. Has he been able to match this? You can see he's trying to capture small glimpses of his map and lots of opportunities just to try and read the detail, try and stay in the right direction as well. As he drops down this slope, not many opportunities to read the map.
He has been running so good in basically all the parts of the course, and now he has the trickiest bits behind him. Clear lead for him as well, I would say, if he doesn't miss that one, the 16th one.
Yeah, he's gone too
think he's
far to
got
the
it now.
left. There he goes, he's got it.
About half a minute of a lead, and well, what would you say? One tricky control 17 left, and then it's quite straightforward to the finish. So that looks really, really good for Mathieu Perrin.
Yeah, I think the trickiest controls are done, but I mean it's quite open around control 18, like not many features you could miss there, but he needs to now not relax and kind of mess it up. He needs to keep his focus still there, as you saw earlier through the 6th control. Vegard Vestergaard is the next to finish. The Canadian.
And we are waiting for some words with current second
Yeah, I would say the Norwegian starting for
Yes,
Canada.
I was going to say, yeah. Norwegian heritage.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Crossing the line in towards the finish.
Tired on the warm-up, so I just had complete focus on
For the Canadian team, it's very good to have a runner like him in the team. He can help the others a lot, experience at good results, also from World Championships. So I think a runner like him can make a difference in a team like, yeah, the one from Canada.
But a mistake there to 19, so not all plain sailing at the very end.
He looks like owning that car.
He does. He looks very happy. He's looking very comfortable. Max Petterbeimer next to start, and Max he's had such a good, nearly such a good run on the long distance. It all fell apart at control number 3, but for the rest of it, he was very, very strong. He decided to push on with the race, and he's clearly feeling fast. So we'll see what happens today.
Let's agree on saying he had really good legs on that long distance. Then, of course, he didn't have the technique all the way, but he's in great shape. He can do really good today. This is the comparison between Perrin and Berryman. You can see a small mistake up to 7. He was a little bit too early. This one here, now you can see that Gustav Berryman actually playing that safe card I was talking about before, really going all the way up to that hill. And, well, when we have in mind what we heard from Toko Seppa, that could be a quite good move actually, because this hill seems to be difficult to see once you are in the slope and a bit too low.
Yeah, you can see he's like made the decision to kind of take a safer route there that I think will pay off. And he looks really strong in the uphill there, where compared to Perrin, who was doing such a good job and leading at that point. So very strong. Simon Imark next to come to the 6th control. I think I saw him making a mistake around the 3rd, so not plain sailing for this Swiss runner. 138 down, and we're into the last 10 runners now, at least at the start. This is the mistake from Imark here. Just very close to it, but not quite got control of all of the detail. Quentin Moulet next to begin his race. Best of the French team.
Yeah, and I mean, if you see how strong the French team is with Luca Bassi, Mathieu Perrin, that's a good sign if you're the best one in the long distance. Of course, Bassi didn't run, but still, very good performance there from 2 days ago.
Yeah, it could have some good relay potential, I think, for
Yeah,
tomorrow's
definitely.
relay. The team certainly an outsider team to watch out for. Here's Wojtek Kral in towards the finish, the Czech athlete. Caught up Sander Arntzen fairly early on, but we saw his mistake at control 14. So we're not going to be expecting him in amongst the leaders. These two have seen a lot of each other on this race as well. And now just the last meters now of the run-in. But Wojtek Kral, actually, considering what a mistake he made at 14, is a pretty good position for the Czech athlete. Can he get into 6th place here? Should be good enough.
And the finish time for Wojtek Kral right here, 39 minutes and 32 seconds, 2:33 behind Luca Bassi.
Back to the forest. This is Thomas Krifter, who is on his way to the 16th control. And we'll nip back to Anton Johansson.
Interesting name, very strong in middle distances. Anton Johansson had a great spring as well. Good winter training for once, and then usually it's paying off for him.
And
Must have done a small mistake somewhere, but he's about half a minute behind here.
He was actually one of the heat winners in the qualification as well. So clearly got some good speed. Let's see if I can spot anything about his route.
And I mean, this kind of terrain, it's so much. I'm not surprised that both Anton Johansson and Gustav Bergman are doing well here. It's so technical, it's rough, they can fight through stuff. They're really good in this kind of orienteering. Small mistake here by Perrin to 17, and now they're really side by side here to the 18th control. Oh, this is gonna be tight, but I would guess. Now, okay, looks good
But I
for
think Basse
Perrin
took in that
because.
power. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
but yeah, we'll see. It will be interesting. I would guess that Perrin has maybe a bit better speeds than Basse, but will be very, very interesting to see when he approaches the last control.
Yeah, we've just lost the tracking for Perrin, so we will catch him at the finish very, very shortly as we go back towards control 16 for Araujo. He was in 13th place, 41 seconds down at the first TV split. Was the Finn. Lost a bit more time here, but still in the top 6. Heading back to the start for Jonas Ecker.
Also, great spring season for Jonas Ecker. Really good results at all the test races for Switzerland. Was a bit of an outsider. I don't think many would have guessed that he would make his way to the World Championships, but actually, now it looks very much like it.
Fabian Abersold next to the 6th control. Again, chasing world champs selection. He was the 3rd best Swiss in the long distance race. And about a minute down.
Now we had Mathieu Perrin at the second last control. He was 1 second behind Luc Basset. So in about, I would say, 1.5 minutes, he should be at the last control.
It's going to be very close, but the French coaches will be very, very happy to see their two athletes battling it out like this at the top of the results list. This is the 15th control, I think. This is Daniel Hubman, who has caught up and overtaken Hadon now, Jay Hadon. When we saw Hubman through, was in 9th place at TV1, 32 seconds down. Oh, he's just not too sure of his direction.
Yeah. A lot of stop and go for Hubman on those controls, or on this control.
Yeah, he was 32 seconds down, now 2 minutes.
I mean, it's kind of a tactical approach. Could be to do stop and go. We heard Luc Basset, he did that a lot. But let's take Mathieu Perrin to the finish.
Yeah, let's take him all the way to the finish line. You can see there he was 1 second behind Basset at control number 20. So where will he end up here? He's got the feedback. He knows he's doing well. And he's fighting hard, fighting super hard against his teammate, against his colleague Luca Basset. How will it go? Thumbs up from Basset here. Does he think he's got it? No, he hasn't got it, because Perrin goes 2 seconds quicker than Basset. And Mathieu Perrin from France is the new leader here. You can see he didn't have a completely clean race, exactly like Basset, but close enough as well. And he was in the lead for so much of that, just dipping slower than his teammate right at the end, and then fought back a couple of seconds. And the two teammates very, very happy with that.
It's a pity for him that he missed out on this 17th control. I think, yeah, I mean, this half minute could really make a difference in the end. But let's take a short recap here with Perriman as well. You can see he's leading at control 11. Then doing a small mistake at 12. But the others as well, or at least Luc Basset, no problems to 13. Perrin a bit different out to the control, or from the control. But yeah, looks good for Perriman because yeah, we know that Perrin did a half a minute mistake.
Okay, let's take Quentin Moulet to split number 1, control number 6. Here it is. Into 5th place. So looking so good for the French team here. As at TV control number 1, it was Perrin in the lead. Basset was in 3rd place at that point, and then Moulet there in 5th. Daniel Hubman, a mistake here. So obviously he dropped down.
Control.
Exactly. We know he dropped down to about 2 minutes down. I was just answering where that was.
Mathieu Perrin, new current leader, 36.57. Luc Basset in second, 36.59. Only 2 seconds behind.
Ooh, live with Fabian Abersold.
Up to the
And this is what you're
control.
saying about this control 7. We haven't seen that many mistakes at this one, but it's just not going far enough.
Yep, you can see that. I mean, he was at the hill in the slope. He thought that he was up on the control. He expected the control to be too early. When it wasn't there, he didn't know what to do next. He didn't know if it was too high, too low, if he was too much to the left or to the right, and then he had to take a chance.
And I mean, if you're going to be racing full speed, you kind of you almost need to, you don't want to make contingency plans. You don't want to be, okay, well, I'll go a little bit left because then I know when I get to here, I'll go right. And,
But it is difficult in this area because you're in the middle of the slope. There's not even if you have a concept what you would do in case you do a mistake, it's hard to find something that's very clear in this slope. So either you can you can drop down again all the way to the beginning of the slope. That would be the safest one, but then you lose 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes for sure. This is a big mistake here again from one in the Swiss team to the 8th
Yeah, Martin
control.
Hubman. A big error. So many mistakes, just people stopping short if they're going straight there. Martin Regborn, this is control 5. Martin Regborn, one of the qualification heat winners back on Wednesday. And you can see he's already going to be about a minute down on that time from Perrin. Which drops him outside the top 20. Lucas Leland next to start. He is the 4th to last starter. Running through that start gate, immediately folding up the map. This is Gustav Bergman. He's on his way to the 15th and 6th and 16th controls. Let's see how it is going for the Swede, because he had a fantastic start. He was in 2nd place at the first TV split, and then we could tell he was going a little bit quicker than Mathieu
And
Perrin,
you can
our
see
current
here,
leader.
he's very good when you have to kind of have the coordination in the terrain and at the same time do the navigation and read the map and everything. That's what he's really, really good at.
So it goes into the lead. Gustav Bergman here at this point. The lead is 15 seconds. Still very, very close. Thomas Krivda at the finish goes into 6th place. Perrin there, his time 36:57. Okay, let's have a look then at the standings at split control number 2. That's where we've just seen Gustav Bergman. That is control number 16, and he's got that 15-second gap ahead of Mathieu Perrin, who is our current leader at the finish. We've seen most of the others through to the finish. Daniel Hubben inside the top 10. We've not seen him finish yet. This is Jonas Ecker at control number... I've not seen someone do that yet. Across through the little ponds.
It was quite quick, actually.
It was. I think it was worth it. There's a second that you've made up there, and we'll get his time at the 6th control.
And I think we're going to hear from Mathieu Perrin within a few seconds as well.
And here with Mathieu Perrin of France, current leader with just 2 seconds. How was your race, Mathieu?
It was pretty good at first. Like the first controls, it was first part was pretty good, except for I think 4th control, something like that, where I missed, and then it was pretty good. And then in the end, I missed a few controls, not much, but maybe 30 seconds there. Maybe 15 seconds. I don't know how much time I lost, but I don't think it will hold. But at least good enough in this terrain. So it's pretty hard.
And you beat Lucas with just 2 seconds. How's that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that we are competing with each other in the French team. It's Quentin did a really good race yesterday. I'm sure he will do really good today too. And with Luca, it's a really good dynamic right now.
You were, I think, 23rd on the long distance 2 days ago. You think it will be better today?
I don't know. I would have to look, but I think the legs were a bit better. The altitude was a bit better. So yeah, let's see.
Merci.
Yes, I think it will be a better result, much better result from Perrin there, as people behind him not going to be able to match that. Araho from Finland into 8th place still. So about a minute and a half down at the finish.
Number 58, 29 minutes running soon for Gustav Bergman.
So at the start, we are looking for the third to last starter. Victor Svensk got his first World Cup medal at the long distance race with a really impressive performance. Let's see what he's able to do over this middle distance, because he looks so quick already, but it's a very different test today. That long distance, all about the endurance, all about those route choices. This is about that fine navigation and getting that accurate navigation, reading all the details of the map, of the terrain very quickly. Let's get comparison then.
Now we have Emil Svensk as well in the picture here. No bigger problems at control 2. Svensk a little bit behind here after first 3 controls. All lined up, none of them with bigger problems. This is the uphill control to 7. I think now we are live with Emil Svensk.
Yeah, and Emil Svensk went through control 6, 31 seconds slower than Mathieu Perrin. So that's the amount of time he's lost, just a little bit slower. Didn't see any obvious mistakes. Let's take Lucas Leland also to the same point, to control number 6.
And I've been following the GPS a little bit. Very interesting. Soon to approach control 14, Anton Johansson. He turned around. He was about half a minute behind at the first TV control. I think now he's quite up there again with the leaders. So it's going to be interesting in a few minutes.
So Lucas Leland into 17th, equal with Thomas Krivda of Czechia. At the finish, that was Daniel Hubman into 9th place at the moment. Remember, he was a little bit low into the 14th control. That's where we think he lost most of his time in terms of mistakes anyway. Olli Ojanaho next to the 16th control. He's lost time here, lost a little bit more time. Mistake, well, maybe a mistake at control 8, because was on the red line, then came high to take the hill on the way into number 8. We'll also get Victor Svensk then already into the 5th control and the 6th one. Just has to cross over the marsh then here. And he won't be the fastest, but he won't be far off. And he is going to be very similar to that time of Gustav Bergman, who I think is the fastest in the field at the moment. At the start, here is the world middle distance champion. As you can see, 2 times in a row, Matthias Kibberts heading out of the start. Took last season off to focus on the Olympic marathon, but back in the world of orienteering this year, and I think this could suit him. Let's have a little look here, comparison with Gustav Bergman and Anton Johansson, as you were mentioning
Yeah,
earlier,
you can see that
Jonas.
he was really running up on that hill just before control 8. And then very strong here in the downhill, getting closer and closer to Gustav Bergman. And I think, actually, at the pre-warning, he was ahead of Gustav Bergman.
Let's see how he's able to do then at the 16th control. You can see he's running with, there's Isak Jonsson in the picture as well around there.
I think just in front must be someone from the women's race.
Yes, I think you're right. As the time ticks down then, is he able to get in ahead of his teammates?
Oh, it was a French runner, probably.
I think there was another Swedish shirt there as well. So they crash through the trees here, and this does look like it's going to be a lead then for Antonio Hansen, 15 seconds then. We have a new leader at this point. Let's recap. Let's see if we can find out where Johansson overtook Bowman.
Still behind here at control 11, then a small mistake at 12 for Gustav Bergman. Very similar at 13. Now interesting here, Johansson is dropping quite far. He's going to the marsh, taking that pond, taking the second pond as well, and then going from there. And that makes, of course, the control much, much easier compared to when you stay all the way up in the slope. You can see that he really has a tactical approach and an idea on how to tackle the controls.
Our last starter today, the winner of the long distance, one of the big favourites, possibly the favourite for this race, Norway's Kasper Fosse. He just looked incredibly speedy through that long distance terrain. It is his best discipline. Mattis Kibert then into the first TV split is going to be a minute down, and that's going to be hard to catch up, I think.
Actually did a mistake to control 5, so just the one by the lake here. Had bad direction there, and Kasper Fosser only a minute behind Kibbutz now.
Ooh, so it's a sense that he's catching up, I think, here. Let's take Gustav Bergman to the finish. Is he going to come into the lead? He is! Wow, this is a big margin here for Gustav Bergman, and he's clearly done a really good job on the last few controls here. How is that going to match up at the end? What's all the runners have finished? But Gustav Bergman will come in here for a new leading time. He's going to be quicker than the two Frenchmen there as you see Kasper Fosse through into a new lead by 14 seconds. But Gustav Bergman crosses the line there. 35-42, a lead by 1:15, and he was, what was he, about 50? Yeah, I was going to say he was 15 seconds down. But that's actually down on
Anton Johansson.
So
Yeah.
he was only about 15 seconds, I think, ahead of Perrin. So he's caught up a whole minute in the last section.
And I mean, as I said before, this is really the kind of terrain he loves. That's really the kind of terrain he's good at. It's tough to run. You need to have a lot of coordination in order to be able to read the map at the same time as you're running, and it's technically difficult. He's so good when we compete in this kind of terrain. This is Martin Rekborn. You can see doing a mistake. One more of the runners doing a mistake to this 8th control, and it really is, as the course planner said. It's hard for the elite runners when they don't have anything to navigate with. Sometimes it's harder for them if you take away the details compared to when the map seems overloaded. They're so good in kind of taking away features in their head and making it easier for them. But when you don't have anything and you just have to trust your feeling for distance and direction, it's a totally different task, and it's difficult as well.
And I think that's why we're seeing so many runners go and take that small hill on the way to control number 8. They're climbing a little bit more earlier on, and then they're using that as a tactic because they know it's so hard when they don't have very many features. Max Petter-Bäumer, though, let's see him on his way to control number 16. A great speed he showed from the long distance race.
He was a minute behind at the first TV control, and again he's really speeding up here in the second bit.
Yeah, he's really good at this section on the slope, very, very clearly, because he's going to go just a few seconds slower than Anton Johansson and quicker than Gustav Bergman, who's our new leader at the finish. It's clearly some good speed there. Let's have a look then at the last few starters.
5 from Kibbutz. Didn't have a good direction out. Fosser, you can see a small mistake at 7, going a bit far to the right. Kibbutz also doing a mistake to 7, going a bit far to the left then, a bit later. Interesting here, Fosser first one, or one of the first ones, going quite far to the right, leaving the red line.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll try and pick up that re-entrant, maybe the stream. That's quite a long way to go off the line, though, as well.
And I mean, the features there, not much more clear than the one just before control 8 if you have good direction. So I don't know if that's actually the plan or if it's more that it wasn't climbing enough from the beginning. Yeah, Perrin did quite similar thing actually.
Okay, we'll wait now at the 15th, 16th controls. This is the 15th. This is Canton Moulet. And he was in 7th place at the first TV split. 39 seconds behind. Anton Johansson, quickest so far at this next control. He's not going to be too far behind. Now the race really starts getting interesting. We have so many runners now approaching this control with very, very similar times. And where can this Frenchman place?
Yeah, and in just a few seconds, we're going to hear from the leader in the finish, from Gustav Bergman.
See the Kibbert's gone high.
So, Gustav Bergman into the finisher as the leader, a clear lead by more than a minute. How was your race?
Quite good technically. Physically, I have a lot to pick. I think I'm not so satisfied. I struggle on the long distance with like dizziness and low blood sugar. I think that's a problem. And I had the same thing today. Like before the start, I was at the pre-start, like 10 minutes before the start. I could barely get to the start because I was so dizzy. And I ate some sugar and tried to like get back on top, but I struggled the whole way today physically, and it's really tough to stay focused on the orienteering when your head is gone. But I'm super satisfied that I managed to do a quite clean race anyway.
It looks like could be a podium for you today. What are your thoughts on the results?
Yeah, we'll see how far this goes, but I'm really happy with the technical performance. So we'll see.
Thank you, Gustav.
Thank you.
Two runners not very happy with the technical performance. I guess Kasper Fosser and Matthias Kiburtz on the way to the 8th control. We'll see it here. I'm quite sure that it wasn't planned from Fosser to be that low in the hill because he lost kind of focus. No idea where he was. Got to the hill there into the wrong direction. Kiburtz, bad direction as well. Yeah, both of them not showing their best side here on this leg between 7 and 8. Also still having problems. Keyboards found the control now.
No, this is going to be really tough for both of them. They lost a lot of time. Foster still not found the control. Simon Imark next to the finish, and it won't be long before we see Anton Johansson and Max Petter as well. This is Olli Ojanaho first from Finland. But we have had a pre-warning from Anton Johansson, so expect him in with a really good time. Ojanaho here, we'll focus on him from Finland. He is more than 5 minutes down now.
I think we can hear the spectators.
Yeah, I think we can hear the scream
for
for
Anton already.
Absolutely, because he has had a storm around this control. He's been
There he
pre-warned.
comes.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Let's see Mark. But I think we can hear him, or we can hear the spectators.
Yeah, we can hear the cheers for Anton Johansson. We've got a few more runners to come in. We've got Martin Hubman in here. Maybe this is people getting slightly prematurely. Oh no, here he comes. Here is Anton Johansson, and where is he going to come here? Is he going to take the new lead at the finish? Yes, he does. So he takes a new leading time. He goes 13 seconds quicker than Gustav Bergman. So new leader at the finish is Anton Johansson from Sweden. He pulls up a second from the pre-warning and leading all the way around from TV2 at the moment. He was 44 seconds off the leader, which is Kasper Fosse at TV1. So really had a great
but
second
Kasper
part of the
Fosse
course.
won't have anything with the victory to do today
Nope.
because he has done approximately a 2-3 minutes mistake at control 8. Now he just got it.
Tough day in the office there. Martin Regborn at control 16, also 2 minutes down. He made a mistake at control 8 as well. This is Fosse's mistake then.
Yeah, you can see he's going up there. I think he thought that he's in, so he's climbing up, thought the control could be there, going back there again, and then finally going to control 8.
Yeah, I think
Kibbutz
when he
now,
was on the top of the hill the first time, he didn't quite know
yeah, he thought
where
he would
along he
be.
was on the hill. I
I
think
think
he
he
was.
thought he would be at control 8 then. I can tell you as well that Kibbutz now approximately the 2 minutes ahead again in front of Fosser, so he was caught, but now I think they have the start interval again. But yeah, I mean, Kibbutz did a mistake there as well. He won't be within top 5 or top 10 in this race either.
No, some of our big favourites, the top runners from the long distance, losing time. Emil Svensk here is looking for the 16th control. Into the last 5 runners now. And he has found some time from somewhere as well because he's pulled up.
The whole Swedish team performing so good. We also got the pre-warning for Max Peter Beimer with the new fastest time, so he should be in the finish very, very soon. Was only 5 seconds ahead of Anton Johansson.
There is Foster's mistake. If you compare it to Anton Johansson, our new leader, he's lost nearly 3 minutes there. Going up, coming back down, having to relocate again. That's so tricky and going to be basically impossible to come back from. That control, number 8, proving to end the races of many of the competitors. Let's take Max Peter Beimer then into the end. He was behind Anton Johansson at TV control number 2, but you said he was pre-warned in with a lead. So is this going to be a new leading time then here? He can't take his foot off the gas. He really has to work hard on these final meters, take a super direct route. You can already hear the cheers from the crowds at the arena as they yell and scream Max Peter Beimer into the finish. He will just go and punch the last control here and then race his way up the run-in. Is he going to take a new leading time here? He knows he had a great potential for a good run. His parts of his long distance were incredibly fast, and he's going to run all the way in here into the finish line to see if it can be Sweden 1, 2 and 3 on the finish. But where is he going to end up? It's hard to see where the finish line is here. It's so close. He is going to take the new leading time. Max Peter Beimer ahead of Anton Johansson, and then Gustav Bergman, Sweden 1, 2 and 3 on home soil. Max Peter Beimer with a new leading time.
This will be a hard selection for the Swedish team. I mean, Gustav Bergman, I already mentioned it, he is pre-selected, but I mean, talking about Beimer, Johansson, Riedefeld.
We haven't even had either of the Svensk brothers into the finish yet.
Yeah, exactly. Svensk.
Yeah, going to need to be a big meeting. I imagine there's going to be a few disagreements maybe in the mix there. And a shake of the head there, maybe some disbelief from Max Peter Beimer.
But now, I mean, he performed so good yesterday in parts of the course. He did so good today. It will be very hard to not select him.
Here comes Lucas Leland. This is the 15th control. And so he was actually ahead of Max Peter Beimer at TV control number 1. So if he's had a stable middle part of the race, then there's room to set some fast times still here. Although he was 21. He was 1:08 behind Casper Fosse, so it's Casper Fosse's made a big mistake. Lucas Leland, though, no, not in contention here. Still inside the top 10. And very soon we will have Emil Svensk into the finish. Let's have a look here at these controls, because I was about to say Victor Svensk is in contention, but not if he's going to make a mistake like this.
He's doing a mistake here, overshooting the control a little bit. Then it's hard to relocate. He's very close to the control, but you can see it. He lost about 50 seconds just by being very close to the control, but not really there.
So Quentin Moulet next to come to the finish. He's had such a consistent performance. He was 26 seconds down at TV2, lost a little bit of time after that, but should come into a top 6 position, and he should come in ahead of his teammates as well, and this will make it France 4, 5 and 6. Incredible work from the French team today. Something in their preparation has gone incredibly well, because these guys have really broken new ground for this French team at this World Cup. Amazing work there. So Quentin Moulet all the way through into the finish, grits his teeth, pumps his arms, crosses the line into 4th place. And it's France 4, 5 and 6. Back in the forest, this is Victor Svensk. We saw him make that mistake at control 14. Let's see what damage that has caused. You can see he's just off direction slightly, now looking around for the control. Oh, it's so distracting when you have the camera runners following you as well. So another mistake here for Victor Svensk.
Not really there yet.
He's looking around for it as well.
Yeah, it's hard to say where he is. It's as hard for us to relocate as it is for him.
Yes, everything looks the same.
Now we got it.
Just not keeping direction there. It's also strange exit from the control as well. Let's have a look at what happened. So miss on 14.
Yeah, had to go back. Was very close to the control. Then coming out here. Missed that one already a little bit. Didn't really have time then to prepare to control 16. And then we lost his GPS. Here you can see Foster and Kibbutz in the comparison as well. I mean, given the mistake Foster did at control 8, he's not that far behind actually.
No, it's a tail of about a minute there.
And he did a 3
and we're
minutes
live
mistake.
with Casper Fosse. Yeah, imagine if he kept that one clean, how quick. He's very quick through the terrain. But congratulations at the moment. Celebrations for Max Petterbema. We do know Emil Svensk was quicker though at the 2nd TV control, and he should be near the finish quite soon. We've not had the pre-warning yet for Emil Svensk. That should come through very, very shortly. That's at control number 20. I think we're going to try and catch up with Emil Svensk. Maybe not. It is indeed. On his way to the 2nd TV split. Control 16. We'll catch him up with our running camera.
Kibbutz was caught by Casper Fosse, but then got control over the situation a bit quicker, up at control 8. And now ahead of Fosse again, but Fosse, yeah, a minute behind Kibbutz at this place here, so he should be still a minute quicker in the head-to-head comparison.
And Matthias Gibberts was our second to last starter. Let's see where his time sits. Just outside the top 10, 2 minutes down. Martin Regborn here into the finish. We saw him have mistakes at control 8. Yeah, he's going to be outside the top 10 here today. Too many mistakes. But we should, in the next minute or so, see Emil Svensk. If you remember back at the TV control, he did have a lead. I think we'll try and catch him in the forest. Maybe we'll try and find Casper Fosse first. Here he comes. He's the last starter, the winner of the long distance.
It's so impressive. He did a 3 minutes mistake at control 8, and he is, well, you can see it. He's 1 minute behind. I mean, it will be, no, he won't make it to turn around it all the way to the finish if Svensk doesn't do a mistake here in the end. But I mean, he's just so much quicker than the others right now.
Yeah, to catch up all of that time is phenomenal. There he is into 7th place. Emil Svensk, the leader at that point at control number 16. Everyone's been through that position now. This is Emil Svensk. We'll take him all the way through to the finish because he's just got that last control and the run-in to go, running past all these photographers. He is going to be chasing hard for a podium position, but you can see he is not going to take the lead here. There must have been mistakes out there for Emil Svensk because he was in the lead at control 16 and he's thrown it away at the end of this race. So no third World Cup title for Emil Svensk. He looked like he was going to be able to do it, and maybe it's going to hand it to Weimer. Fantastic result for all of the Swedes here. As you can see, he's fighting hard on these last few stages, but it's going to be outside the top 3 as well. Sweden 1, 2, 3 and 4 collapses across the line, and I want to see some. We were losing his GPS at the end of the race, so I want to wait until we kind of see some of that GPS tracking, because he was in fact 12 seconds in the lead at control 20.
And I mean, the fact that he
12 seconds
lost
down,
so much
sorry.
time
Yeah.
here in the end opens up a little bit again to Casper Fosse if he continues as he did from control 8 onward. So maybe not over yet. But looks
So
good.
Emil
Well,
Svensk
yeah.
was in the lead at control 16, and then he was 12 seconds down at control 20 and 28 seconds down in the end. So we'll wait for his GPS to kind of catch up and hopefully see what happened there, because well, he was in a leading position. Can Casper Fosse catch any time up as we see Jonas Ecker into the finish?
Hard
If
to say
anyone
because we
can.
can't see any GPS of anyone right now.
No, we are just guessing. We don't know whether people have made mistakes on that end part. It's a bit of a black hole of GPS towards the end there.
Ecker didn't have a very good middle distance here, finishing in 19th.
Waiting soon for Lucas Liland also into the last control and finish. Yes,
so with Emil Svensk at the finish, we've got Lucas Liland, Victor Svensk, Matthias Gibberts and Casper Fosse on their way through to the finish. And with mistakes from Victor Svensk, mistakes from Casper Fosse. Yeah.
That's a former international, Lisa Holler. They became parents recently, as you can see.
So the current standings, Max Peter Weimer, Sweden in lead, 35.
An immediate debrief with the coach.
Hosvagono, I think it is.
So those are the standings at the finish. As I mentioned, we've still got 4 runners to come, but it's looking very good for the Swedish team at the moment. Filling the top 4, and great for the French team as well. Cracking performances from all of them. This is Lucas Liland. He was our 4th last starter. We'll take him through into the finish. And if you're just tuning in and just seeing the end of this race, most of the forest does not look like this at all. This is an incredibly open, flat section right at the end that takes you all the way through into the arena. Most of it a lot more dense, a lot of contours, whether that's intricate technical contours or the slope contours as well. That's made it so tricky, this course. This end really a simple end to the course, but it hides the fact that so much of this has been a very technical navigational challenge. As Lucas Leland does look like he will go still into the top 10.
So Lucas Leland, 37 minutes. And into a 9th position at the moment for
Has
Lucas
got
Leland, Norway.
GPS from keyboards back, coming to control 18 from a totally wrong direction.
Yes, I think I've just done the same thing, which is try and look at the tail, see if we can see very much, but it's a mystery as to why he's coming to control from that direction, from the north.
For Victor Svensk to the last control and the finish with a great start, and then some small mistakes that cost too much for Victor today. So very small margins, really.
So the next one to the finish, I think, is going to be Victor Svensk.
Win time was 35 minutes, and Max Peter Beimer 35:16.
Yeah, we should see him very shortly. Too many mistakes though out there. We saw one of them on the camera, didn't we? To control number 16. But a few small misses around there, 14, 15, 16. Not in control, and you could kind of sense once he made one mistake, it just had a domino effect on all of the others, as he wasn't kind of able to prepare the routes and prepare the plans to the next control. So he was the bronze medalist from the long distance, but coming unstuck on the middle part of today's race. It's going to be so tough for the selectors to make their decisions with the Swedish team. Some of the Swedish teams still to be decided for the World Championships, coming up very soon in Finland. And Victor Svensk will try to stay still in the top 10. Slower than Lucas Leland.
On his way into the finish.
But good speed on the last section, just lost too much time in the middle.
Now we got the punt from Kasper Fosser at the pre-warning, and it's only 24 seconds between Kasper Fosser and Max Peter Beimer. So it was half a minute, 40 seconds at the TV control. Now it's 24 seconds, but I mean, it's not a lot of orienteering left. I would be surprised if he could win this, but maybe he can take one of the Swedish runners just in front of him, Gustav Bergman or Emil Svensk. And I mean, as you mentioned, Emil Svensk did a mistake in the end as well.
Let's see if we can catch up what happened to Emil Svensson here.
Yeah, but we lost GPS
we've kind of lost
every
the
now
GPS,
and then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to say anything from Mule and Svensk. Coming back here.
It looked like he maybe would have been off
see
on
that much,
18.
right?
No.
Yeah, maybe not the best exit from 20, but I mean that can't
He kind of
cost
stayed in the marsh, I guess, a bit.
Seconds. Yeah, but that can't cost 15 seconds.
Maybe he was slightly off on 18 as well. Well, we'll hopefully come back to that once we get the full GPS sorted out.
Fosse now on the way to the last control, should be there in about 30 seconds. Here he is in the picture.
Let's see what he can do. Fighting hard on this last stage. Lost nearly 3 minutes on control number 8, but he has been fighting back ever since. He's been picking up time here and there, and you can see that's because his speed through the terrain is so good. He's been pre-warned with 24 seconds down on the leader, that's Max Peter Beimer, but is he going to make a dent in the top 3, which is packed out of Swedes at the moment? He was the last starter today. He was the winner of the long distance, multi-world champion in that discipline. Not quite as good in the middle distance, but where is he going to end up? on the final results then. Is he going to get into this podium? Is he going to split the Swedish runners? He's going to push hard all the way to the end. He's not going to take them to the top 3. In fact, he's not going to go ahead of any of those Swedes. He will just slot in behind them into 5th place, and in fact losing some seconds at the end there, 32 seconds down in the end. And then that puts the win then to Max Peter Bähmer of Sweden.
The first ever World Cup victory for Max Peter Bähmer. And with that, I would say it's very hard to not select him for the World Championships. But yeah, I mean, Kasper Fosser did a huge mistake to control 8. I would say this, even though it's a result that he is not satisfied with, but this could give him a boost for his self-confidence, because he knows now that even though he does a 3 minutes mistake, he's very, very close. Or he is very much better than the others physically in tough terrain, but seems to be something wrong with his readout.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because we didn't see all the GPS tracking of him. There seems to be struggles.
Oh, it must be some struggles here.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
see
it
if I
seems
can find the route on the GPS tracking. It's not all come up.
39 minutes, and he's running towards the 23rd position today. Matthias Geborg from Switzerland in this middle distance. 39 minutes and 20 seconds. 4 minutes and 4 seconds behind the winner, Max.
Maybe there was a problem with the 18th. That's the only place where the GPS hasn't quite loaded yet. It's loading.
And we are waiting for a flower ceremony very, very soon.
3.
Middle distance final for men.
Did he not go to
third
3?
control. Yeah,
He
he
didn't go to 3.
to third. Yeah. There must have been the women's control there as well.
Yeah,
yes,
it
indeed.
Was. Oof.
A tough one, especially if you think about the overall World Cup. I mean, as I said before, there's still good things to take with you. It won't be as good as a feeling as I just mentioned before, because now, yeah, the 3 minutes, he would have lost another half minute or a minute if he would have taken all the controls. But still, he knows that the speed is good. At the same time, for the overall World Cup, it's not good to not have a result here. So that's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, gutting him, and we just, I mean, it's the basic element of orienteering. Get the right controls in the right order. Check your codes. You know, it's been drilled into him since he started orienteering, I'm sure, and
I'm
you know,
quite sure
that's tricky.
that most of the runners, they don't check the numbers in a World Cup race, because you have only 2 classes. You have the women's race, the men's race. Usually you don't have them too close to each other, or then you're quite sure when you're at your control, this is my control. It's not always that it's so diffuse and hard to different, like the terrain or the free features from each other as it is here. So usually when they get to a control and they think, yeah, this should be mine, then they just continue without checking the codes at the control.
Well, just looking down the results there, we had those 4 Swedes at the top. If you think back to the World Cup 4 years ago, I think only 1 Swedish victory there, and it just shows you what a good place their team is in at the moment and what great depth they've got. Let's take the top 5 then on the GPS tracking.
Interesting here. Johansson with a mistake to the first control, about half a minute behind. Bähmer with a mistake again to the second control. That's why we had the 2 of them a bit behind. Johansson, his GPS wasn't very accurate at the third control, then not the best direction to 5. And you can see here, Bähmer is about half a minute behind Bergman. 8, the control where we lost Kasper Fosser, or yeah, where he did a mistake. We lost him at control 3 already. Svensk with a mistake to 8 as well. Many struggled with this one. Good prediction there from the course planner. At this place, Bergman is in the lead, but then he does a mistake here. To control 12, it's getting too low. That's where we have Svensk and Johansson passing him. Beimer still quite far behind at this point. Still about half a minute, maybe even more. Really attacking to this 14th control is not going. It didn't go down to the pond. Risking it all at this point. No problems. 15, 16. Many of the runners struggled at 16 as well. Bergman and Mule taking this hill on the way out there. Here we don't have any GPS coverage for Quentin Mule, and from here Beimer is in the lead, so he was able to just pass them after control 18 in the very end of the course. Small mistake. I would say it was out from control 20 for Emil Svensk.
And here with World Cup winner Max-Peter Beimer. Congratulations, Max-Peter. How does that sound? World Cup winner for the first time.
Yeah, thank you very much. It sounds really good. Yeah, really good to finally get the win.
And we've just seen the GPS analysis. You were not that fast in the beginning, maybe made some small mistakes, and then just pushed all the way through and won in the end. What's your own experience of the course?
Yeah, that's exactly how I experienced it. Had some troubles getting into the technical aspect in the beginning. Had a very stressful orienteering, but then I slowly worked myself into it, and I could feel that it was a little bit faster train towards the end, and with really good legs I just pushed everything I had, and it's so nice to actually make it to the top.
And what was so hard today? Why do you think so many made mistakes, including yourself?
It was the uneven terrain with rocky ground, and the visibility was not very good. So I think reading the map, running fast is very tough in this kind of terrain, and when you don't see that much, it's also difficult to get the details. So yeah.
2 days ago, you were number 6, a big mistake on control 3, but then really fast pace for the rest of the course. You seem to be in quite good shape.
Yeah, the training has been very good in the end, and yeah, I felt 2 days ago with the big mistake. It was a shame that I did it, but then it was just about pushing, and yeah, so I was really looking forward to today to really try to take advantage of the good physical shape. So yeah.
And the reason I'm asking about your shape is also there's some spots left in the Swedish World Champs team. What are your chances for getting one of them after today's win, you think?
It's better than 2 days ago when I was 4th Swede with only 3 spots. It's yeah, it's super tough. But now, yeah, I think I've improved my chances, so fingers crossed.
We'll see. Congratulations once again, Max-Peter.
Thank you.
Super happy, of course, and yeah, not an error-free run. I think nobody's had an error-free run there today, but it was Gustav Bergman who has come into 3rd place in the end. And he felt very dizzy out on the course, but managed to put together a good technical performance. Anton Johansson in 2nd place, again pulling time up on the later controls, but Max-Peter Beimer did that even more so. I mean, he said he's feeling in really good shape, done some really good training, and it's shown in both of these 2 races at the World Cup so far, and rewarded with his 1st ever World Cup win. He's won medals before in the last few years, a bronze and a silver, but this is first time being on top of the podium. So we will do our flower ceremony next. And a sea of blue and yellow shirts today on the men's podium. Something that we mentioned will cause the selectors a bit of a headache, but on home soil as well.
This is the flower ceremony.
It's
Orienteering World Cup,
advantage
Idre
to
Fjäll
Sweden, and they will be
2025
feeling
middle
very
distance
happy ahead of
men.
the
And the
World
flowers
Championships
will
in
be handed
Finland, and
over
of
by the
course ahead of
managing
tomorrow's
director of the
relay
Swedish
as well,
Orienteering Federation,
where it will
Susanne
also be
Wåhlin.
hard to select the
In
teams.
third place, representing Sweden, Gustav Bergman.
So third place, another bronze medal for Gustav
In
Bergman
second
to
place,
add to his
also
collection
representing
on the
Sweden,
World Cup
Anton
circuit.
Johansson.
Anton Johansson is going to take the silver medal.
And the winner, top of the podium today, also representing
His
Sweden,
second
Mats
silver medal in the World Cup.
Hilmer.
But a first win here for Max Petter, who's shown he's got lots of speed and managed to recover a run again after early mistakes. And there we go, there are our top three in the men's race. They will go now and try and recover, ready for the fun and chaos that is the relay tomorrow.
En trippel för Sverige. Vi noterar också vår fjärde plats, alltså precis utanför Emil
So
Svensk.
3
Fyra
Swedish flags
svenskar i topp
on
på
the
herrsidan
screen
i
there.
medeldistansen.
And on the podium.
Anton Johansson, Gustav Bergman.
After a very, very technical, very tricky race where, as Max Petter was saying, it just was hard to read the map and to stay upright in the rocky terrain. Luckily, Gustav Bergman is better at orienteering than he is at
one of
throwing
the biggest
the
mistakes
flowers.
of today. 180 degrees into the wrong direction. He didn't do that on the course.
He did not do that on the course. Good job he's not in athletics as a thrower. Okay, we'll start then moving our focus towards the women's race, which has been ongoing, overlapping with the men's race. Already in this terrain in Idre Fjäll, same arena as the long distance race. So some similar terrain, some similar overlapping terrain, similar shape course for the women as well. And they've been running for a couple of hours already. We'll bring you up to date with how things are looking. Again, these women have come through the qualification to make it onto this A final in a shortened long distance on Wednesday. Then they raced the long distance on Thursday, had a rest day, and then over in this similar terrain. But where the long distance has a test of endurance, has that test of route choice, just being able to push really hard the whole way around. It is a very different test for this middle distance. Lots of controls, short controls, changes of direction, tests that fine navigation ability, and being able to do that, read loads of detail on the ground, on the map, at speed. So for the women today, they have got 5 kilometers. We expect their winning time to be around 35 minutes and a climb of 165 meters. So still a lot of elevation over that short distance, and very technical, whether you're contouring around a hill, whether you're going up, whether you're going down as well. This is the forest they have been trying to master, trying to conquer, and under the trees they hide a myriad of contours, contour detail, as you can see from the map. From the course preview then, Jonas, why don't you talk us through the challenges they've got to face?
And I mean, everyone who has been following us from the beginning, we have already seen that course in the first preview, so no big surprise. Very similar to the men's race, same concept. Control 6 to 7 is the TV, or 5 to 6 is TV control. Then we have a similar long leg to 8, the one that many struggled with in the men's race. Already turned down then, that's where the race is shorter basically in the women's race. Also this one was a tricky one in the men's race. 10 to 11, not exactly the same, but you get the same idea. Running parallel to the slope and navigate. You can't take that much advantage of the pond there because the control is just located above. 13 TV control, then it gets easier again, not that many mistakes, 15 to the finish if you had right direction out from the control. I think that's key today. Always double check direction out from the control. It's hard to get the distance, it's hard to get the features because it is very dense in the forest, and it's hard to get all these small details, and running in this stony terrain, reading the map at the same time makes this task very, very difficult. This is a 3D animation of how it could look like in the forest. Doesn't give us much of a feedback about the visibility and how stony it is, but we're gonna see a pre-runner very soon. So this is control 9 to 10. It's up in the very north of the course. You can see at this point visibility is quite okay. It's not as dense as is in other places. You actually get a few features to navigate with. You can take this marsh here on the way. It's quite many, there are quite many fallen trees, so yeah, every now and then you have to leave direction a few meters to the left or to the right. Makes it even more difficult to just run with a compass on direction.
So that is the challenge that awaits the women on this middle distance course on a day that's seen a lot of mixed weather. So we've had the start list today. This is ordered by the results from the long distance race. So the winner of the long distance, Tove Alexanderson, will start last. We've had a couple of very quick runners who mispunched or didn't run the long distance race through the finish already. Lina Sederberg and Sanna Fast. We will come to them in just a moment. But Jonas, who are the favourites then for today's race?
Yeah, I mean, we will see them at the very end of the start list. The big favorite today, again, Tove Alexanderson. Simone Abersold, of course, one of the favorites as well. Andrine Benjaminsen, Natalia Gemperle. There are quite many names you could name. Even though Sara Hagström, I would say her chances here in this race are better than if you had asked me 3 days ago. I would say no chance in the long distance. Okay, chances in the middle distance because it's not as physical. It's not about 90 minutes. We're talking about 35 minutes. It's difficult orienteering. That's something that could suit Sara Hagström quite well. But then she performed really good already in the long distance. Doesn't make her less of a favorite for today, even though it would be a surprise if she would win it. Kind of a surprise as well, Line Cederberg. I mean, she has been international runners for quite many years now, but today actually I looked through her GPS. It looked like a very, very clean race. Was able to beat Sanna Fast. Sanna Fast did a big mistake to control 8, but very good performance by Line Cederberg.
Yeah, absolutely. She's rewarded by being the leader at the finish at the moment. 38 minutes and 38 seconds. I think looking from the start list, we might have expected Sanna Fast to be leading at this point. But you mentioned a big mistake at control 8. I think I also counted ones at 7, at 15, maybe a small miss at 17. Well, let's have a look then.
Yeah,
so
I mean, Sanna Fast in the shape she is right now could win a World Cup race. She's in really good shape. She had a great winter, good winter training for basically the first time in her career, or at least for a long time. Good race until control 6. Then a small mistake to control 7. And then this very difficult control to 8. Many of the men struggled in the race before, didn't go far enough. Then up to this hill, having the control there, and now we have them all together again. You can see that Sanna Fast has better speed than Tuomisto and Cederberg, but then missed on control 10 again. Now we have Tuomisto in the lead at this point, but then she gets too low to 11. And I mean, the difference, Cederberg is not as quick as the others, but she doesn't do any mistakes. Another time, bad direction out for Sanna Fast. You could almost feel that she is a bit stressed, a bit nervous every now and then. Every time when you think that now she's got control over the situation again, then she does another mistake. So yeah, I mean, they will go towards those 35 minutes, if not below. That's definitely possible, but you need to have a good race, and almost no one came through without any mistake in the men's race. This again, the mistake to control 8. We heard, was it Tokusepa who explained how difficult it was to get to control 8, because this hill, or yeah, the hill before, I think it looked a bit different in the terrain as he expected at least. So it was hard to keep distance and control over the situation to control 8.
Yeah, and she lost a lot of time there. In the end, Sanna Fast only 10 seconds slower than Lina Cederberg. That's at the finish, and it does show there's a lot of potential for people to go a lot quicker if they stay with no mistakes, but they have that speed comparable to Sanna Fast, then they will be able to make a really good race. Hanna Wisniewska then at the start, about to begin her campaign. You can see folding up that map, just getting the first indication of the first few controls. Way to take the, there's a little bit of route choice. You can stick along the power line for a little bit longer and then cut into the forest, or you can cut in straight away.
I mean, here in the women's race, it's more of a possibility to stay a bit longer on the power line. In the men's race, you should have left it quite straight from the start point.
So Teresa Rotorie into the finish here. She already lost about a minute and 40 at the first TV split, so just losing time throughout the race here. Has struggled a bit in the long distance as well. Not in the best fitness maybe at the moment, but into fifth place at the moment, 2:32 slower than Idre Fjäll, who is our current leader. Going into the last part of the race here.
Idre
Catching up
Wikström.
with Idre Wikström. And there's quite a few runners all coming into the finish now, but Wikström has managed to close down on all of them and leap ahead. So Frida Wikström looking for a top 3 position at the moment. Will she get in ahead of Malin Egervig Christiansen, another of the heat winners who did not have a good long distance? But Frida Wikström, a good race from her today, looks like. Who's going to cross the line? She should take third here. Crossing the line, it's going to be about just under a minute and a half slower than the current leader. Let's have a look then. This is Ines Berger.
And she does a big mistake to control 10. Again, not the best direction out from the control. It's so crucial to check your compass in this kind of terrain, just when you leave the circle.
Oh, and she
Very
still
close.
hasn't found.
It's on the way back now, getting into the marsh again. Trying kind of into the same direction as she had it just after punching the control. She's still not at the control. She's still looking for it as we talk by now.
That is tough to try and recover from that. She's still too high. She's just not got her direction right. She's going too far south, not enough east. Take a look at Grace Malloy then.
She's
on
doing
her
a
route.
mistake to control 7. I don't know if you're gonna see it actually. Yeah, She's going too far to the right.
Grace has moved to Sweden, in fact, in the last year, and took, I think, a podium position at one of the Swedish League races.
So what she did, she was heading up the hill, came a bit too far to the right, then went even more to the right to correct it, and went back. The mistake about 2 minutes, not at all as big as the one from Ines Berger, but of course quite a big mistake.
Yeah, so Alina Nigli at the start, as Ines Berger still not found control number 10. Just waiting at the start.
Interesting name. Really had a breakthrough this spring in the Swiss team. Great results at the test races. Not as good now in the long distance 2 days ago, but very solid races in Finland, where they had the selection races.
So our first look then at control number 6. And Venna Dalavori from Finland will take her through to this point. It's the same control, TV control as we had with the men's class, where they go kind of round the pond, cross over the marsh. And then we get a time check at the next control. Should pick her up very soon. Here she is. Already lost 2.5 minutes. So just a bit slower than Frida Wikström, who's just seen into the finish. And they're into 27th. And we've seen most of the big mistakes happen after this control already. And such was the case in the men's race as well. Ines Berger has now found the 10th control, by the way, if you were particularly interested in that one. Those are the standings at this point. Sanna Fast was the quickest at that point. She's not the leader in the finish. That is Lena Söderberg. So mistakes, as I said, for some of the athletes after this point in the race. That's where we've seen it. It's not where there's lots of contours, not where there's lots of intricacy. It's actually where there's less to read, where it gets a little bit flatter or just on the slope. It's very, very tricky. Andreas Svensson, next
mistakes.
start.
We've seen mistakes in both parts of the map, with many details and with less details.
So Andreas Svensson next to start. I think she was playing at the midsummer celebrations that were put on yesterday, playing the violin alongside Sara Hagström as they took part in the Swedish midsummer festivities on the rest day.
And I think we're going to hear a little bit from the leader in the finish, Line Cederberg.
Here with the current leader, Line Cederberg from Denmark. Line, tell us about your race.
It was a good race. I'm really happy how I managed to keep it together all the way to the finish. I had really much respect for the terrain before the start and decided to really focus on the technical performance today, which I'm very happy that I succeed with.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of mistakes out there. What is so hard about this terrain today?
It's really difficult because the terrain is very shifting. Like you can feel that you really have super good confidence and know where you are, and then suddenly the sight just go down and it becomes very green, but you can't see it on the map. So then if you don't have a really full focus, you can easily lost where you are, and you can do some big mistakes out there.
And what kind of result are you hoping for today?
Hard to say. My goal today was to get a good and solid technical performance before the World Champs starting in 2 weeks. But now I really hope that I can beat my World Cup result, which is 21. So let's see.
We'll cross our fingers, Line. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to hear her describe what it's like in a terrain where you feel like you know where you are, and then suddenly the trees close in and you lose that visibility and you just can't figure out where you are. And it reminds me of some trainings, you know, I did as a junior on an all-white map. Like, that is trainings. You take off all of the colors on the map and you just work with the contours. It almost feels like you're you get the impression that they're running a bit like that at the moment, where you just have to kind of keep going straight and kind of deal with whatever terrain comes at you, because you can't plan for it. Inka Nurminen from Finland, next to begin her 5-kilometer course. Lots of the athletes here have been going straight on up this power line, using one of the hills as an attack point into the control. Oof, mistake there for Jo Shepherd at control number 3.
She had actually a
Mm.
good race 2 days ago, quite a good race. But this one now between 2 and 3, off direction, and then getting in a re-entrant, but not the right one, a bit too far to the left and too early. Very hard then to relocate again. It's kind of the same story for all of the runners doing mistakes here in the beginning.
Yeah, there's a big group of athletes all made a big mistake to control number 8. Sanna Hotz, Hannah Hilo, I think, all stopped like about 2/3 of the way into the leg and turned back. Very strange to see. But let's take Anu Tuomisto into the finish. I think we were seeing a lot of her GPS tracking earlier on, weren't we?
Yeah, she was very good in the beginning of the course. Then lost time.
Yeah, made mistakes around 7, 11, 12, where lots of the athletes have been having trouble. So she will not come into a leading position. Yeah, she was only 16 seconds down at TV control number 1, and then 2 minutes down at TV control number 2. Yeah, and she will be even more than that now down at the end of this course at the finish. Running there with Alva Sonesson.
With a better time of the two, 41 minutes running for Anu right now, and Alva Sonesson, Sweden, 43 minutes, and the seconds for Alva, 43:16, 4:38 behind Line Cederberg.
Tuomisto crossing the line there into 7th place in the end. 2 minutes 44 is the gap. So dropped from 2nd down into 6th and then 7th place here at the finish.
To the lost control and the finish. Line Cederberg still the fastest to the second TV split.
Let's have a look then. This is Anu Tuomisto's one of her mistakes. This is the one into control number 11.
It's a bit different, as I said, compared to the men's race. There you had the chance to drop down to the pond and then kind of use that as a new attack point. Here you have this green area. It's hard to see where you come out from it, and then you run parallel to the slope towards the control. It's quite a tricky one, actually.
Yeah, it's a very tricky one to get to know where you are on the slope, to get the right height. Very, very difficult. That was Paula Gross at the start. We catch up with Alina Nigli at split control number 1. And I think, is that Hanna Wisniewska? She's caught up to 4 minutes then.
And
So
Nigli had a good start,
here.
but had a small mistake to control 4. I would say she lost about half a minute there. No very big mistake, and I think that's, if you don't have a very big mistake, that leads you already into the top 10 to this first TV split.
No, it's Alexandra Hornick she's caught up, I think, which is even more minutes that she's caught up than on there, but Niggli into third at the moment and ahead of the current leader at the finish, Lina Söderberg. Hedvig Valbjørn Goodison, we will take her to control number 13 then. This is the second TV split. I think a lot of stop and go technique for a lot of these athletes.
Yeah, that's what Mathieu Perrin said. It's important to dare to do stop and go if you need it.
It's also tricky when you know you're close, you can see the cameras, you can see the advertising as well.
5:57 behind.
Just making sure you don't make a mistake or at the end.
48:11 finish time for Lotte today. We are waiting for Sophie Bachmann from Switzerland soon, also Mathias Glersen from Norway. Both are pre-warned.
Back at the fifth control, looking for Andreas Svensson. Here she comes on this lake. Can fly the drone.
That's good direction out from control 4 towards this power line. Now on the way to the control, looks very good. That must have done something small in the beginning because she was about a minute behind at the pre-warning.
Let's see if she's still that minute behind. Yeah, maybe not as direct to the second control. Hard to say where she's lost all of that time, but still in the top 10. And out and up this hill climb is very tricky. Seventh control. Sophie Bachmann then into the finish from Switzerland. She will try and come here into the top 10. 3 minutes down at the moment.
41:53, 3:15 behind Line Söderberg, Denmark. Still the current leader.
Doesn't seem to be too many mistakes from Sophie Bachmann. No big mistake at control 8, for example. Looks to have a fairly clean run, just not at the speed to match Line Söderberg.
Big mistakes on the screen. You see Helena Karlsson kind of went not even halfway, then turned back to control 7. I don't know. She
I
didn't
don't think
punch
she got
control 7
in the
first
first
time.
No.
Yeah, but then Taula Vori with a big mistake towards control 8.
And Hannah Hilo had a big mistake. She's was one of the quickest at control 6 at this point, but she'll have plummeted down the standings there. Let's take Inka Nurminen into this control. When you think that Sanna Fast, Tuomisto made mistakes after this point, it's a good position for Inka Nurminen.
I mean, everyone here is in front of Line Söderberg. Line Söderberg is more than a minute behind Sanna Fast at this first TV control. This is Hannah Hilo on the way.
No, it isn't
No,
Hannah
this
Hilo.
is not her.
This looks like Grace Malloy. Yes, there
Grace
she is,
Malloy,
looking around. And then we wait for Hannah Hilo.
This is her.
So Hannah Hilo was one of those who was faster than Line Söderberg by 10 seconds at the first split, but she will be slower now. Definitely with the mistake that we saw there to control 8.
Wasn't it Hannah Hilo? That was Hanpe. I thought it wasn't Hannah Hilo. Here she is, I guess.
Here she is. Yeah, she has lost a lot of time compared to the leader with that mistake at the 8th control, but we'll follow her through on this one. You see how the visibility drops, but also with these up and downs, you lose that visibility as well. You have to really keep on your compass to try and kind of correct for going around all of these trees, these fallen trees as well. You can see she's starting to look around, just getting the shapes in the terrain that kind of get hidden amongst that undergrowth too. Now she can spot the advertising, I think, as well. You don't think you can spot the control from there. But over this ridge, you can get it. And Hannah Hilo there, down into 10th place now, but down by nearly 3 minutes. This is Cécile Galandry. So similar to Hannah Hilo again, and faster than our leader at the finish, Lena Sederberg. So still good. You can see she just stops there and makes sure she doesn't leave the control without getting direction. So Hornick must have made a big mess because she was caught up a lot of time at the 6th control. Yeah, exactly.
So
and this
big
is
mistake to the
why.
second control, overshooting it. First she came too far to the left. It's so young forest here. It's, as the course plan said, it's almost dark at the control. You can't see anything. It's so hard to relocate. And I can tell you, there's a big group looking for control 8 again with Joe Shepard, Alexandra Hornik, Hanna Wisniewska, and Alina Nikli.
Yeah, and again, they've all stopped too short. I think there's some like little re-entrants and tiny little re-entrants and spurs on the map, tiny little wiggles of the contour that I think they might think is the little spur and the little hill before the control. I wonder if that's what is proving to be tricky. Let's have a look then. Alina Nigli and Lida Sederberg.
She's ahead of Sederberg. Good direction, basically. But then at this point here, that's where they think, or where she thinks the
is on the edge of the
must
circle,
be.
I think.
So she starts to look for the control. Now she's going down. She thinks she's at the hill just below the control, and then the parallel mistake is going on 4 minutes.
So tricky, that control, because unless you head up to the left of the line to the top of the hill, there's basically no features to read before the control. And I think a lot of people have seen that very small spur and re-entrant, and they've mistaken it for the one that's on the edge of the circle. Paula Gross, though, good, decent enough start. She is going to be around the same time as our current leader, so she's got to keep it clean and not do what this big group is doing now, making a mistake here at control number 8. Joe Shepard's managed to get it, but Alexandra Hornick, Alina Nigli, Hanna Wisniewska all struggling there. They still haven't found the control. Next to start, Idre Fjäll, the only one of the Finns here at this World Cup who is going to the World Championships. Most of the entire rest of the team chosen to stay in Finland, continue their preparations for home World Championships there, rather than doing so much travelling. But Idre Fjäll will try and show today why she's been picked for that World Champs team. We are into the last 10 starters now.
Yeah, we're into the last 10 starters, and we're not even close to having anyone being a threat to Line Sederberg.
No, not at the moment. Not with the mistakes going on. Another mistake going on now as well at that same point from Svensson, from Andreas Svensson.
I mean, Galandry could be a threat if she's not doing a mistake. Who else do we have? Paula Cruz could be a threat if she's not going to do a mistake. But otherwise, I mean, it just shows the importance in this kind of terrain to really have a clean race. You can lose so much time if you start to do mistakes.
Yeah, and it's so hard to recover from a mistake as well. Once you've made one, you just start second guessing yourselves. You don't have confidence, and you need to have confidence going into these control circles to go, my control is the other side of that hill. I know it is there. I'm going to go and attack the control with confidence. And you can see, I think, when we get to the second TV split, how a lot of people's confidence has been knocked back from mistakes earlier in the course where they're just having that more stop and go style. They are really, really being careful to read everything. Ingrid Lindenez begins her race for Norway. Again, becoming a lot more consistent in her performances. Ran a great last leg for the second team of IFK Gothenburg in the Venla relay last weekend. And confident starts, just going up this slope on the power line before dipping into the forest. So Andreas Svensson making a mistake on control 8. I think Inka Nurminen's doing the same. Very tough. Let's have a look at Denisa Kralova. She had a great result in the long distance race, was by far the best of the Czechs. And we'll see how her first part of her race has managed to go.
You mentioned Inka Nurminen. She started to do a mistake, but then she kind of was saved by Pia Youngvik. It picked her up on the way to the 8th control. Well, see if they're going to do a mistake anyway.
Decent start for Kralova. She will be similar to Hilo, and is she going to be quicker than Sederberry? She is indeed, into 9th place. So it's all about, well, I was about to say it's all about this 8th control. There are so many controls you can make mistakes on here.
Nurminen doing this small mistake here, and then here she got caught by Pia Youngvik. So it was kind of saved. She did a mistake, but it would have been much, much bigger if she wasn't caught there.
So we should keep an eye on Pia Youngvik if she's catching people then as well. Amy Newman, next off. First chance to have a look at this course, this map, and what the challenge is that awaits her. It's getting quite late for starts now, I think, compared to what we tend to see in orienteering races. It's now coming up to 6:30 local time. Does that have an impact on the runners?
It's not that late. I mean, no. Basically, often they train in the evening as well. So I think it starts to be very difficult if you have to eat at strange times. But I mean, eating at 3 or 4 is not that strange. Your stomach will handle that. So many of the runners, they're used to run the big relays as well. If you run Tiomila or Jukkola, Venla, not Venla, but Jukkola or Tiomila, then sometimes you have to run in the middle of the night. If you run night championships, you have to run in very late. So I don't think it's a struggle to run at 6 o'clock in the evening.
That was a really good start for Lotta Karola there, into a great position in amongst the leading runners at control number 6. We'll keep an eye on her tracking. Let's have a look at Calandry.
Actually quite good to this 8th control. Really good. This is going to be the first one, or not the first one, but the first one since a long time that actually can be a threat for Line Sederberg.
Yeah, I think so. Still quite a lot of controls to go, though. Anna Djukorn next through to the first TV split. We'll pick her up at control 5 before we'll see the actual time check at control number 6. So we'll keep an eye on Cécile Calandry. We will keep an eye on Lotta Kola too. Paula Gross is making mistakes. She was so close to control number 7, and now she is still looking for it. Joe Shepherd's too low in the slope, trying to find control number 10. Really struggling with that one. So, but those going well, Lotta Kola and Cécile Calandry. Anna Jukorn, how will she fare? She's had a great start as well. Definitely in contention at this point of the race. And goes into 3rd. Really good start for the Norwegian. Okay, back at the start then, this is Jana Riedefeld beginning her campaign. Good result for her in the long distance race. And as we're talking about so much for the men's race, it's also a chance to lay down your mark, lay down your ambitions to get selected for the World Championships team for Sweden and for Switzerland. They haven't completed all of their selections yet. Let's make a comparison then. Ida Happala and Anna Jukorn.
Yeah, she did a mistake already to the first control. Didn't have the direction from where she left the power line. Then running to the second control, using that vegetation boundary. Makes it, of course, much easier then to navigate. This is Victoria Hesta Björnstad. Had a good race in the long distance.
Yeah, really good race. Was very, very happy with the performance. She was on the leader's chair for quite a while. So we'll have a lot of confidence then going into this middle distance race. Maybe especially as it's on the same terrain. The map does have an overlap. But this middle distance race and a lot of that more technical contour detail as you might expect for a course that demands lots of precise navigational skill. Lots of changes of direction, lots of controls. Hannah Hilo then, we will take her through to the finish. She was one of the fastest at the TV control number 1. Let's see if I can find out where she was. She was 8th quickest at TV control number 1, but lost time since then. Will be outside of the top 6.
Actually, I've just jumped back a little bit in the GPS. Just approaching control 11. It's a huge group with Wisniewska, Nikli, Hornig, Nurminen, Pia Youngvik, Gallandry, and Svensson. And I mean, this is what was not a mass start race.
No, there's 7 runners there in that group. That is certainly not what the runners would have been expecting at all. As you can see there, the time ticking up for Hannah Hilo. Will still be in the top 10. But mistakes to the 8th control for Hannah Hilo. That's the one that cost her. Stopping too early, turning back. Such a tricky control.
And running towards a new 8th or 9th position. In the current standings for Hannah Hilo.
So is 8th in the end then for Hannah Hilo, same time as Sophie Bachmann.
Just to come back to this group again, here we see Natalia Kempel at the start. In this group of 7 that you named before, or you named that there were 7 runners, we have Cécile Calandry, and she has a very good time. We know that from earlier. And I mean, now there are 7 runners. The risk of doing mistakes, if you have 7 runners, at least if they actively read the map, is much, much lower compared to when you're alone. So it looks very good for her. We also have Inka Nurminen. She started 2 minutes ahead of Cécile Calandry. Both of them have a chance now to go in position 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're on their way to the 12th control. We will get the time at control 13. But Ingrid Lundenes is on her way to the 6th control. See whether she's been able to have a good start. Lindenez approaching. So you could just see how good Sanna Fast was at the start of her race before it all went wrong. Van Lindenez is still within a minute, not bad. Here's Cécile Calandry. This is control number 12, and you'll get a sense of how many runners maybe there are here. There's 7 of them in this group.
And now we don't see
and
anyone.
Calandry is the fastest of them, yes. And this is what it's like, because that is how much visibility you lose.
No, I mean, all the others
hills
are
up as
behind
well.
her, except for Nikli. Actually, Nikli is about 15 seconds ahead, but all the other
she managed to
runners
get a gap.
should be just behind her.
A lot of the athletes have been talking about how stony it is. You get some of the sense of that there. That was Inka Nurminen ahead. And she will go into a great position compared to Sedberry, but Calandry having best run out there so far. He's going to go into a huge lead here. See Nurminen there just 9 seconds ahead of Sedberry, and Calandry goes 1:51 quicker. There's Pia Ljungvik as well as Svensson also through for Sweden. And yeah, that group are already pulling apart. Let's see whether Calandry is able to keep up that good run. She just had a great route to control number 8. No mistakes there, and is looking fast in the terrain. She will have so much good feedback as well from catching the others up. It's such a boost. Amy Newman, a good start as well. Said we'd keep a track of Lotta Kohola. We should keep track of Amy Newman as well. Lotta Kohola went high to control number 8, but she's found the control, no problem. She's caught up Kralova.
We should probably keep track on Sara Hagström as well, who's starting right now.
Yeah, you named her amongst one of your favourites when we
and I mean,
did the start of the broadcast.
And we have seen the Swedes perform in the men's race. They can handle this kind of terrain for sure. She's very good technically. Maybe, I mean, if we would look for something, I don't know how much like routine she has in competition situations since her injury, but well, she should be able to handle this. This again, a replay. See Paula Gross doing a big mistake to control 7. Dyrkorn missing a bit to 8, or not a bit, she's doing a mistake. Gallantry going really good there.
So yeah, I mean we're live with Dyrkorn there, but at the end of that shot on the GPS tracker, and she's now going away from control number 8. It's so tricky. There's a few little wiggles there in the contours, and I think they think they're on the edge of the circle, but they're just not gone far enough at all yet. Here's Andrina Benjaminsen. She is the European middle distance bronze medalist. In fact, she's got 3 World Cup silver medals to her name, 6 World Cup bronze medals for her name. No win yet. She's been so close so many times on that third step of the podium.
It
but
will happen sooner or later. It will happen.
I feel like it will. Yeah, absolutely. This is Johanna Riedefeld on her way to the 5th control, and then the 6th where we get the time check. This is the 5th. Yeah, Anna Dyrkorn making a mistake here. She's going to be caught by Ida Happala. That's put her out of contention. She had a fast time at control 6, but she's struggling there. Let's see how Johanna Riedefeld is going to do. Here she comes. You can see the forest tracking up. A little path being formed on the way to this control into 13th place. I think still within a minute. Is it okay?
Yeah, she didn't do any bigger mistake. Maybe not the best direction out from control 1 towards control 2. Otherwise, a bit surprising that she actually loses about a minute without any mistake.
So at the start here, this is the European middle distance champion, the world long distance champion, Simona Abersold. She was 2nd in the long distance yesterday, after being caught by the eventual winner. but again, super strong technically, physically too. And after, I think, struggling a bit over the winter, maybe not feeling as fast as she expected, then she's managed to kind of turn that around in the last month or so. Had a great run again at Venla, and will really want to put down a good run today. It's all about the mistakes though. Can you minimize those? But she is our second to last starter. Let's have a catch up then. This is Cécile Calandry and Lotta Caola as well.
And we know
Both
that
of them looking
Calandry
very good.
went good all the way to 13. Let's see how it goes for Carola. Going a bit lower here, maybe trying to spot the pond there, attacking the
And avoiding
control
the green
from
as well.
below.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So Lotta Caola, that we kind of came up to her GPS when it was live there. So she's still looking for, she's still on her way to control number 11. Victoria Hester Bjornstad. Not seen anybody else cross through. I can't remember which of the men it was who cut through the little ponds.
Victoria
Everybody else
Hester
going
Björnstad
around.
did a small mistake to the second control, about 20-25 seconds. Just missed it by a few meters, then had to do an extra loop.
Yes, that means she's more than a minute down. So our last starter on today's middle distance competition is Tova Alexanderson. She won the long distance. That was her 51st World Cup win. She is always a big favourite. She just looked fantastic through the terrain, so fast, and was able to catch up the rest of the field, catch up about 3 other runners, form a pretty super group. Okay, Natalia
Look at
Gempler, that
this one,
normally means
Kempele
there's a mistake.
on the way to third control, just not having direction, overshooting it, no feeling for distance at all. I mean, she's running far too far, ending up at control 12. A bit lucky, actually, that she ends up at control 12, because then she can relocate from a very specific point if she turns the map and double checks it.
Kempele clearly not getting on with this terrain.
No.
She made quite a few mistakes on the long distance as well.
And on the qualification already.
Yeah, she's clearly not quite figured out how to, with doing a lot of training in Finland and adapting to this terrain, she really has struggled. But anyway, at the third control, live with her. And in fact, Sara Hagström, who started 2 minutes behind Gempele, is already through control number 4, has already passed Gempele.
Sara Hagström had quite an okay start, a bit small mistake to control 1. We're talking about maybe 10 seconds. Otherwise, it looked okay for Hagström.
So those are the wiggles and the contours that everybody is stopping at, that I think they think they're right on the edge of the circle, but they just haven't gone far enough. So I feel like they must be bigger in the terrain than they look on the map.
I'm not
People
sure
haven't
about
got the
that,
right
but
picture in their head of what
I
they're
mean,
looking at, or they
I
just
don't-
ignore that wiggle. They don't even see it on the map, and they just go to the flat until you see some spurs, and then you see a spur, but you just haven't noticed it on the map either.
I think the problem is that they don't have control over the distance. It's hard to keep track on distance if you don't get any feature to control it with. And then they start to look for features when they approach there. And when they come to this small spur that you call the wiggle, then they're really looking for something that could be the spur they're looking for. So they take it too early. I don't think they are much bigger in the terrain than on the map, but it's the only thing they start really to looking for stuff.
So Sara Hagström is 34 seconds slower than Sanna Fast. That's a very good start. She should absolutely take that. Now I think we're looking for Lotta Kaola here to split control number 2. So she's on her way to control 13. She had a good split at TV control number 1. Not sure about her route into 12. So let's see what this has been able to do. She's just slowing down, reading her compass, getting direction. There's the control. And so in the map, it's so hard to look ahead and plan your route when a lot of your focus has got to be on the detail in the moment. But Gempela there, down 48th place. That was a mistake to control 3. That's how much it cost her. Andrina Benjaminsen next into the first TV points. And I think it's looking good for her so far. Very good. Let's get her time. Very attacking start from the Norwegian. And yes, it is a very good start. She's only 1 second slower than Sanne Fast. And we know what mistakes Sanne Fast made in the latter part of the race. This is a fantastic, a dream start for Andrina Benjaminsen.
We have other runners struggling now at control 8 and 10. Ida Haapala with big problems to control 10. Johanna Riedefeld doing a mistake to control 8, but this is Cécile Gallandry on the way to the finish. She had a very good position at the second TV control.
Yes, is it going to be enough to take a new leading time then here at the finish? It was a great run from her. She caught up a big group of 7 athletes and has pretty much stayed with most of them for the rest of the way around the course. Alina Nigli just a little bit ahead of this group, but what can Calandri do? Is she going to go into a new leading time? Lida Sederberg has been sitting on the leader's chair for the whole of our focus on the women's race so far. Nobody has been able to match the Dane so far. I think Cécile Calandri will be the first one. Look at that, she absolutely will be. The dark blue kit of France. She's going to go into a clear new lead and get really quite close to our expected winning time as well. She just comes up one of the final slopes. Got Pia Youngvik just behind her from Norway, but this is going to be a new lead here from Cécile Calandri of France. What a great day the French having. It extends into the women's race as well, as Cécile Calandri is going to take the new fastest time at the finish by a big margin here. Crosses the line, stops her watch. 36 minutes and 2 seconds. It is a new leading time there, and she's had a fantastic run around the whole way. This is Inka Nurminen, and she's going to set the new second fastest time here. She is just going to creep in ahead of Lina Sederberg. Inka Nurminen in second place. So Calandri in first, Nurminen in second place, Lina Sederberg into third.
And Cécile Gallandry, really good race. I mean, we have barely seen any mistakes. She's done very solid to control 8. Many of the runners struggling there. Then, of course, she catches the other runners in front of her, helps her to get confidence, helps her with navigation as well. But almost no mistakes and the 3 minutes lead. That's very impressive.
So 9 seconds deficit for Simona Abbasol. That is really good. She's very close to that time of Andrina Benjaminsen. So a good start.
Look at Ida Haapala here. She's almost at control 10, but misses it all the way up again. Tries to relocate back at control 9, and again another shot towards control 10. Misses it again, but now I think she has it.
Oh, that's tough to see. Here's Tove Alexanderson, then the last starter. Considering we've only just seen Abbasol through, I think this is a very good start then for the Swede. Of course, the big favourite, the last starter, 21 World Championship medals, World Championship golds even, from her very first one back in 2016, which was also in Sweden. This is Alexanderson. Yes, she's going to set a big new leading time here. But
I
we
mean,
know often middle
huge.
distances are No, and we know
And
middle
it's
distances are often the undoing of her. That they are the type of race where
it's
she can make a huge mistake and not then have the distance to recover from it.
and I mean it's very difficult. It will be crucial for her, of course, to get control 7 and 8. If she gets those two controls, it looks very good for her. But I mean, as I said, 16 seconds. It is a very good run by Andrine Benjaminsen so far as well. You see, Hagström did a small mistake to 7, Riedefeld then doing a mistake to 8. Victoria Hesta Björnstad is gonna start a mistake soon as well. At this point, this is a replay for her, so we are live with Sara Hagström. Yeah, as I said, it's going to be very interesting now to follow Abersold and Alexandersson and see if they also struggle with Control 8, because if they get through there, well.
And I'm here with Cécile Camembry, current leader in the women's class. Cécile, you seem to do quite well in the tricky parts on the slope. What was your experience of the race?
So I think I had a quite good beginning, and then I was very focused into getting my controls and getting used to the new scale because we were running 15,000 before. So yeah, I was really focused in doing my own job in the beginning, and then I caught the group. So it's always more easier to run with a group of girls. But I was always trying to know exactly where I was because you can do so many mistakes in this terrain. So I'm quite happy with that. And the shape was really better than yesterday at the 2 days ago after the race, so I'm quite happy.
Yeah, how was your feeling compared to Thursday where you were so tired?
I was a bit afraid after Thursday long distance because I had a bad time in the forest, but today the rest day was perfect so that I could rest and get back on shape today.
In the men's class, we had 3 French guys in top 10, in top 7 actually. Why do you think the French are doing so well today?
I have no idea. I guess I don't know. I had no idea that the guys were so good, so that's super.
Great, thank you, Cécile.
Thank you.
Oh, that's quite nice, Virgin. I think she's a bit shocked to hear that result from the Frenchmen. I don't think anyone would have predicted that before the race. Let's have a look then for the next athletes coming through the terrain. Maybe we'll focus a bit on Control 8 because it looks like Sara
Yeah.
Hagström's made it and Victoria Hesa Björnstad
But
has made
not
it. Gembler has
Benjaminsen.
made it, but not Benjaminsen. And Benjaminsen had caught up Hagström, so that's 2 minutes she'd caught on Hagström,
Yeah,
and now she's making a
if
mistake.
she just kept together with the group, she would have approached Control 8 perfectly, would have given her a very good position in this race towards the end. Now she's looking too early, as so many others before her. This is going to end up at least 1 minute mistake. I would guess that she could potentially be caught as well by Simone Abersold.
Yeah, she's going a little bit too high now as we look at the standings. That's split ones. We have seen everybody through at that point now with Tove Alexandersson on the chase. This really tricky control number 8 coming up. Let's have a look at Benjaminsen. This is what we've been talking about.
Yeah,
here.
in the replay. She's together here with Hagström and Kemperle and Victoria Hesta Björnstad. The others go to the control. She stops too early and then does the mistake. Interesting, just behind, she's still up there looking for the controls, and now we're live. Behind Abersold, I mean, she's not really started to do a mistake, but it looks very, very shaky.
Oh, she's kind of stopped though.
Yeah, now she stopped, so it's going to be a mistake for Abersold as well. She's only, I would say, she is 3/4 into that, so she is still quite far to go to the control. Alexandersson behind, still going okay on the red line. Now halfway to control 8. So Abersold definitely, doing a big mistake. She's not, I would say she's not gonna win it with a mistake like this.
No,
Benjaminsen
we're
still
live
looking
with
for the
Abersold
control.
now. Yeah. So she was on the route. She got to the parts I've been calling the wiggles, which I think you think is on the edge of the circle, but clearly it's to be off by that much distance is a lot to be off.
It is a lot, but
Yeah, it's
they
like a
don't have
huge. It's a
anything.
25% margin of error, really.
But
You know.
usually what you do when you leave a control is you take distance, you take direction, then you go distance, and then you check off features on the way, but you don't get any feedback on that leg. That's the difficulty of it. So when you are halfway, or you start to feel, okay, now I have to get things in order to get there. So now I think I've gone quite far. I'm on the top of this terrace. I should be approaching. That's when they get these wiggles and they think, okay, maybe I'm already there. Maybe I was running quicker than before because before it was detailed. Now I can run, and then they do the mistake.
So Alexanderson got to the wiggles, kind of slowed down and stopped, and I think has control of the situation
Now
now. She's
she's gonna
about to come
meet
across Benjaminson.
Benjaminson. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wonder if that's helping her or not.
Yeah, it might not help her. I think Alexanderson stopped there, figured out where she was, and has kept going. I think.
Yeah,
And
now
they're
it
nearly at
looks
the
very good
control.
for Alexanderson.
Really good for
So
Alexanderson.
yeah, now
Lotte
she's at the
Kohler then
control.
into the finish, and she had a good start, I think, as well to the course. Let's see how she's managed to do this now. She's caught up with Denisa Kralova, the two of them together. So Abersold now has control number 8 as well, but she has been overtaken by Alexanderson in that mistake. There's very, very few who've been able to do control number 8 well, but Alexanderson is one of those. Let's take Lotte Kohler into the finish because she could be in the top 3 here, in the top 2 even. Not much time lost in the middle section. She was quicker than Cecilia Calandri at the first TV split though, but lost some time in the middle here. Fighting all the way on these last few meters, pushing hard. She will go into second place. Kralova crosses the line first. Here's Kohler into second. So Lotte Kohler into second, Denisa Kralova into 6th place.
And behind Benjaminsen and Alexanderson at control 10. Now we had just a few minutes before the group with Sara Hagström, Victoria Björnsson and Kempele there. They did a small mistake. It looks very good for Alexanderson and Benjaminsen, just a few seconds behind the two of them. We also have Simona Abersold. But the group with Hagström, or not the group, Hagström now doing a mistake at control 11.
I think
Kempele,
the
I
others have
think.
control. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's take the replay here. We have Hagström and Benjaminsen in the comparison. There we have Abersold and Alexanderson as well. Hagström with a mistake to control 10, then now doing another mistake to 11. But you can see that Benjaminsen and Alexanderson together, splitting up then at control 10 to 11. And actually, you can see it now, Hagström missing that control 11.
So that wasn't a synchronized GPS. This is live with all of them. So it looks like Hagström's really far ahead. She's not, but is making a big mess of number 11 now.
Yeah, and I mean now it will be, if Alexanderson gets this control 11, then I don't really know what should happen in order for her not to win this race.
Here's Ida Happala. She's made mistakes on control 1, on control 10. Those were her big mistakes. And we'll get her time at control number 13. Yeah, you can see there, already 12 minutes down. And Hagström, oh, really making it, gone a long way past number 11 now. She's going to get caught by Alexanderson, Benjaminson and Abersold as well. This is Ida Happala's mistake then to control number 11, as I was mentioning.
It's only Gempele from the group that actually got the control, right? All the others, Hester Björnstad, Idre Fjäll, they didn't get it.
They're going back as well.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
This is
that is so tricky.
Yeah, this is a replay from Happala.
You know what, that is so tricky to get the control and not let the others see you get it as well. That is sneaky.
Yeah, but the others went a little bit lower. I don't think it was so sneaky. They just didn't follow Gempele to the control.
So
Alexanderson approaching it very soon. I wonder about the direction as we wait for Natalia Gempele to the second TV split.
Yeah, this is the 12th control, which she looks like she's taking very safely. So we wait for Natalia Gempele. That is the 12th control. So I think she made a small mistake going into that one, actually.
Yeah.
She
was
did
following
indeed.
the power line a bit too long, then got to the hill. Small parallel mistake, overshot the control, had to go back. Behind, Alexanderson got to control 11, but there was a lot of hesitation into it. So very soon we're going to have Alexanderson, Benjaminsen to the TV control.
We'll get Gempele though first, and she's 4 minutes down. For Gempele, it was control 3, if you remember. She lost about 3 minutes to control number 3. She was overtaken by Sara Hagström at that point, but she's managed to get away, of course, from her now. And there's a big group heading towards control 12 soon. Let's have a look at the... I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at.
We're not looking at anything there.
On to the finish. Is this Ingrid Lundenes? Looks like her indeed, all the way through into the finish. And the Dukon was just ahead, but she's made mistakes. Let's see where Lundenes is able to rank. She's not looking for a new leading time, but maybe looking for a top 6. Here is Alexanderson into the 12th control, but Benjaminson gets there just ahead. They're fighting these runners here for just these meters, chopping through the controls, through the trees. And here is our leader, Tove Alexanderson. Yet again, she has caught up, and she has caught up.
Yet again, she caught up Abersold and Benjaminson.
Yeah, Abersold and Benjaminson, their 2 biggest rivals. So we'll get so much good feedback from this, because this is another big group. So there's Alexanderson and Benjaminson here. Then there's a group of Hagström, Abersold, Hester Björnstad as well, just behind these 2. But of course, Tove Alexanderson, being that last starter, is in a great position. So she goes there a couple of minutes ahead of Calandri. So Cecile Calandri on for a great win as Lundenes crosses the line into 3rd place. Caught up a little bit on the end. She tells she's got some good speed at the moment. Here's Amy Newman, and she's going to go. She's had a great run. Goes just 21 seconds slower than Cecile Calandri. That's a fantastic run from Amy Newman. Only just outside, off the pace, off the lead, and that could end up with a great result. That could be a podium spot for Amy Newman at the end of today's race. Knowing the mistakes that have happened after her, I think she's going to be rewarded with a good result.
Tove Alexandersson, Cécile Collandry, Annie Niemann is 1, 2, 3.
Here she's waiting at the finish. Cécile Gallandry, sure she's waiting mostly for Tove Alexandersson, the one in front of her at the second TV control. But actually Simone Abersold is not so far behind her either at TV2. You can see it here, only 16 seconds. So that will be a tight one if Abersold is able to stay together with the group around Alexandersson.
Yeah, so Abersold in that 4th place there, but she could she's so close to the second, she could upgrade in that one. Everybody else too slow at this point to make a difference. And all of our GPS dots are going to go into a bit of a black spot here, so it's going to be hard for us to say exactly where those athletes are and how well they're doing, crucially as well. The next runners we should have at the finish should be Lisa Mattala and Ida Happala, both of those making mistakes. Then Gempela's on her way, and then that group with Tove Alexandersson. Those are the standings. Those are standings at split control 2, control 13. Let's have a replay. This is what
You can
went
see
wrong
that
for Hagström, and in fact, all of the others.
Riedefeld and Björnstad actually had a bit of control over the distance. You could see how they hesitated when Hagström continued on the height of control 11, but then they didn't go up to the control, followed Hagström anyway. Led to a big mistake here at control 11, and actually they were caught here at this place by Alexandersson and Benjaminsen.
What you don't see in the picture there is Natalia Gempela nailing it, and she did get the control and managed to pull away from the rest because of that, basically.
This is
Take the comparison of these last routes.
Yeah, compared to Karhola. Not the best direction, maybe out of 14. Could go more straight there. You have to climb anyway. And looks good to 16. I wonder if there are tracks in this section. We've had quite many runners now that have been running in this part of the forest, especially there 16, 17, 18.
In between, we have Annie Niemann, also Finland, only 21 seconds behind Cécile Collandry.
So that group, Alexandersson, we know now on her way to control number 15. So still a few minutes before that whole group comes in towards the finish. These are the standings at the finish. Cécile Collandry and Amy Niemann with a big gap on the rest of the field. Lotta Kohola there into 3rd place. So space there maybe for Simone Abersold, of course for Tove Alexandersson, our last 2 starters chasing down
And,
the others.
Probably or maybe a top 10 for Line Cederberg as well. That would be a big surprise.
Yeah, what did she say her best result was? I think she said 21st, and yeah, a huge improvement on that. So we have
Also
a big gap now in the finish because lots of the earlier runners were caught up. So we have rather than a steady stream of runners, we'll have a big wait and then they all come at once. What were you saying was interesting?
Yeah, also interesting is that Sanna Fast is still on 7th position, and I mean we saw her her race in the very beginning. She did more than 3 minutes mistake, I guess. She's 2:46 behind. She could have ended up in the top 3 for sure today.
Those
she's
on
definitely
your
the
screen, the
speed.
top 3 at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, she definitely. I mean, she was still one of the best to control to TV split number 1. I'm trying to look back and see where she was. She was the second quickest, yeah, to TV split number 1. Beaten only by
Alexandersson
Tove
did the
Alexandersson.
mistake to control 15. She had to go back now.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, she did quite a big mistake.
Hang on. So she did.
Yeah. She
But
overshot
now
the
we've lost the
control, then had to go
GPS.
back.
Oh my,
Now we lost
oh
it
my,
again, but she has definitely done a mistake there. So
you're
she's
right, she
not in the
has.
group around Benjaminsen. She's about a minute or two behind. Maybe
So she
giving
was
us a big
okay, let's have a look at
bit of excitement.
Alexanderson's tracking here. So this is how much she was ahead of Abersold. And you need to remember she was, what, a couple of minutes ahead of Calandri?
She's together here with Benjaminsen from control 11. Different approach here. She went quite straight out to the power line. Then control 13. Then we lose her here, but then look towards control 15 and hopefully that we stay with the GPS here. Yeah, now we take another approach, but keep an eye on Alexanderson. Of course, we have to wait a while until it shows up again.
But now we have more
The
runners in the
thing
picture.
is,
We've got those who have already finished.
yeah, but
like
it would have been
Calandri.
it would be interesting to have them sync because Benjaminsen is together with Alexanderson here. She went a bit more to the left out from control 14 on that hill, halfway left towards control 15, and then I thought she showed Alexanderson the way to control 15, but obviously she didn't. So Alexanderson was overshooting that control, had to turn back.
So
But I mean,
Alexanderson mistakes. She's still in the lead. She's still leading this, but it's popped Abersold into second place.
That's right.
We're not live with Alexanderson here. We've not got her tracker live, so
and it
she
also means
is ahead.
It also means that Alexanderson is not in the group with Abersold and Benjaminsen anymore.
So this is Elisa Matala and Ida Happala, two Finns on their way into the finish, both of whom have made some big mistakes out on the field. These shouldn't affect our top 10. But they will come into the finish very soon. Then we've got Gempela, then Abersold, who Abersold I think will take the lead at when
Now we
she
have the
finishes.
pre-warning for Abersold, 51 seconds ahead of Cécile Gallandry, Benjaminsen into fourth, 2:06 behind Abersold.
And that does mean it'll be a podium for Cécile Calandry. Happala into the finish here. You can see more than 13 minutes down.
Idre Fjäll heading into the finish. Together with Elisa Matala, also Finland.
So Ida Happala, not a good run for her. She'll regroup, go to those World Championships. Commiserates with her teammates, and we've got the runners coming in now. Here's the first of them. Here is Natalia Gempela racing in. You can tell it's been tough out there when you've got a hole in your leggings that big. And we are looking as well for Simona Abersold. She's really picked up the speed here. She's trying to chase down Gempela, and she's recovered as well, recovering from that mistake at control number 8 to pick back up and manage to push the pace and stretch it out here. She won't know that Tove Alexanderson has made a mistake behind her. We've still not got her tracker on our system. It's just lost signal, so don't know
But
where Alexanderson is.
We had her at the pre-warning. Actually, she was 37 seconds ahead of Abersold.
But Abersold here into the line. She is going to take the lead at this point in the race. We see Natalia Gempela across the line first. You can see she is down in outside the top 10 again. Mistakes mostly at control number 3 for Natalia Gempela. That ended her race, and she comes across the line, but it will be a new leading time for the second Swiss here on this run-in. Natalia Gempela into 12th, and Abersold here fighting to take a new leading position, and it should be the silver medal overall for Abersold today. She goes a minute quicker than Calandri, collapses across the line, and made up so much after that mistake at control number 8. Calandri is going to be rewarded for her clean run. It was also a mistake to control number 8 for Andrina Benjaminsen, who crosses the line there as well. She has gone into 4th place at the moment, to 14 down, but we wait for Tove Alexanderson, who should be here very soon. Here she is, fighting hard. Again, it's not been clean on for this race, and her mistake coming much nearer the end. Control number 15 for Tove Alexanderson.
I think today would have really be the chance for Andrine Benjaminsen. She was running so good in the beginning, then she did this mistake at control 8, but then actually after that she was for a long time in the lead ahead of Alexanderson, had a good finish as well. But yeah, there was one but too much. Sarah Hagström to the finish, and here's Tove Alexanderson.
Yes, you can see it's going to be clear enough for the win here. She caught up with this group, then she made a mistake at control number 15. It doesn't matter. She's still going to come in here and she's still going to take the win because she is so quick in the terrain. She is so strong, and she did most of the technical bit so well. Even a mistake at control number 15 is not going to be enough to deprive her of the win. She does her usual dive over across the line, and it is another World Cup win for Tove Alexanderson, the second here in Idre Fjäll in Sweden, and it is the 52nd World Cup win of her career. She just keeps adding medals and medals, and there is going to be so much to these athletes to debrief here in this, because this was a very exciting race. I don't think I have ever seen a race with this many mistakes in on the World Cup circuit.
You have not been watching the World Championships relay in 2011 then, in the women's class. Yeah, it has been a very interesting one. The interesting bit especially is that they actually were running in groups, and still single members of the group would do mistake, and this probably the surprise of the day, or surprise. I mean, she was good throughout the early season already, but I would not have guessed that Cécile Calandry could step up on the podium into the top 3. Another big surprise, Linese Edebari on 9th. The other runners there, I mean, we have good runs by the Finns, given the fact that yeah, Finland is sending the B team, if you want to call it like this, regarding to their selections. Amy Nymalm in 4th, Lotta Caroline 6th, and Inka Nurminen in 8th. That's a great result as well. But yeah, it was a very interesting middle distance. It was very technical, and this kind of things happen if you take away visibility from the runners, because it's all about the visibility. All the orienteers on this level, they can orienteer very well when they get contours, when they get details and visibility. But if you take away the visibility, you're kind of blind in a few ways, or in a few parts, and you have to really be sure about distance and direction. And it's so easy to lose that map contact if you're running so fast, and then it's very difficult to relocate once you lose map contact, and that's exactly what we saw today.
It's almost like night orienteering, but in the daytime, because you've lost that visibility. You have to rely on those techniques that really come to the fore when you're doing night orienteering, which is direction and distance. But yeah.
It is, but in a way not, or the add to that it's kind of night orienteering, the fact that you don't have any big good features to relocate from. So if you're lost at control 8, what should you look out for in order to relocate? The only thing basically you can do is run up and down and hope to find a hill or anything that you can actually use for your relocation. But those are so small features. You're in the slope, everything looks the same. you have to look for something that helps you, but it's hard to find anything.
And when the shapes are so subtle as well, they're so hidden in the terrain with the undergrowth, with the low visibility, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, it is. And well, it will be very, very interesting to see a relay in this kind of terrain as well tomorrow then. When you add forkings to stuff like that and everything, that will make it even more nervous, even more exciting. But let's take a look at the replay of the GPS, or at least what we see from the GPS, because in this section here, coverage was not perfect. You see that Galanterie bit hesitating into second control. Alexanderson with a clear lead already at control 4. The others about 15-20 seconds behind, and then another gap to Galanterie, who is about a minute behind. And then control 7 and 8, maybe the most decisive ones. Today, many of the runners, not of the top runners, but other runners struggled at 7. And 8, almost everyone struggled there. Not Cécile Galanterie, as you will see very soon. Abersol start to hesitate halfway already. Benjamin was so close. She was together with Sarah Hagström, I think, as well. If she just had followed with her, she would have gotten to control 8 without any problems. Galanterie, just a small hesitation, but very good control taking. But you can see that she's already 2 minutes behind Alexanderson at this place here. Benjaminsen with his huge mistake to control 8. Control 11 then, where we had the group with Kempele and Hagström that missed quite a lot in this one. Galanterie also here with a very good technical performance. No problems for Alexanderson to control 15. Well, as I said, I thought she could see Benjamins and that she would get help towards the control, but obviously she didn't. To control 15, I hope we will turn the page very soon here, because Alexanderson is already doing the mistake. So a bit off direction, maybe spotting the wrong stone there. And then overshooting the control a little bit, cost her about 1.5 minutes, opening up again. But this last bit was then, I think there must have been tracks. The course planner also said that the visibility is good here. It's not at all as difficult as the first bit. So in the end, still quite a clear victory for Tove Alexandersson, winning this race by 0.5 minute ahead of Simone Abersold and 1.5 minutes ahead of Cécile Galanterie.
Yeah, we
who
should
ends up
hear from Tove Alexanderson next and find out what she made of this very challenging course.
And to Alexanderson, yet another World Cup win for you. Congratulations. Take us through the race. You seem to be going very fast in the beginning, and then there's this mistake, it seems, towards the end. How did you experience it?
Yeah, I was just really careful in the beginning, tried to just do good orienteering and be really focused, and I did it really well. And then to control number 8, I saw this is a really tricky one, and I was a bit unsure before the control. But I continue and trust in myself even if I was a bit unsure, and I took that control and I met Andrine there, and I like to do the orienteering by myself, so I had to focus even more to do it good after that. But I'm really satisfied with the first part of the race. And then when I started to relax a bit in the end, because it looked a bit more easy, because I thought the tricky part was over, and of course then you do a mistake. So and I did a quite big one, and I got quite stressed, so I started to run as fast as I could, and I got really tired in the end, but I'm I just tried to continue push, and it was a really good feeling to take the victory, even that I had a mistake in that.
Were you stressed by running in a group? It seemed you were quite many athletes out there together.
Yeah, it was just me and Idre, and then when I did the mistake, I saw some other runners. So yeah, I'm better to focus when I'm alone, but I know that I have to practice to be able to keep the focus even when I have people around me.
The World Champs are only 2 weeks away. What does it mean to you taking 2 World Cup wins here in Idre?
Yeah, of course, it means much. Means a lot. I had really looking forward to these races, and I really wanted to do good technical races. And I'm really satisfied with the race today, except from one control. So I hope to be able to improve a little bit more to the World Championship.
Thank you, Tove. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's always trying to look for those little moments to improve, and so many orienteers listening will know the experience of nailing all the tricky bits of the course, then just relaxing when you get to the easy bit and immediately making a mistake. It's very relatable part of orienteering.
Are you sure that so many orienteers can relate to nailing all the tricky bits?
Well, maybe not, but they can certainly relate to relaxing when it gets easy and then making the mistake. Absolutely, definitely to that part. And but the mistake, you know, she was so good to the technical part and so quick that mistake didn't matter. And how many times we've heard that from Tove Alexanderson as well. But it's always good as well to hear that she wants to kind of keep improving on different things. She says she knows she needs to improve on running alongside those others because she does prefer running by herself.
I think the most interesting bit was that she, when she said that she actually started to hesitate, but then just kept on going, because usually that's a sign of good confidence. You say that, or I learned that when you start hesitating, keep on going for a little bit, because usually what you do is you start hesitating too early. I mean, of course, you should be very aware of that you're not 100% sure anymore, but you have to dare to keep on going. If you know that you did everything right when you took the direction out from the control, and that it's basically only about distance, then you have to dare to go all the way. Of course, if you're not sure if you had the right direction out of the control, then don't do that. But she explained that very well.
She did indeed. Well, it is a first ever World Cup medal for Frances Cécile Calandry. Her previous best was a 6th place, so big step up for Cécile Calandry in this terrain. Another silver medal for Simona Aebersold to add to her tally of World Cups. It takes her World Cup silvers up to 15 for Simona Aebersold, but it's 52 golds for Tove Alexanderson. And you heard she really is excited about these races, about the races in Finland as well. She does prefer the forest to the sprint, and she loves a technical course and kind of proper orienteering, as she might describe it. Orienteering in the forest, in the tough technical terrain, and it's going to give her, of course, a huge boost of confidence going into the World Champs coming up very soon in Finland. I mean, one of the races I've seen with the most mistakes, I think, ever since commentating on the World Cup Series, World Championships, just shows how technical it was. And Jonas, you mentioned it earlier, we've still got a relay to come tomorrow.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, we had great results from the Swedish team in the men's race. The French team was good. Norway has always a strong team. Switzerland, well, in the men's relay, they didn't perform at all. In the women's class, actually, it looks a bit more equal to me. We had Tuve there for Sweden, but then the second best was in 10th position, then 12th, 13. If you look at Switzerland, we have Aebersold in second, then Gempen in 16, Nikli in 21. If you look at France, Galandry third, but then we have to scroll quite far down. Finland seems to have a good team. Norway could have a strong team. It's going to be exciting. And I mean, if you have tricky terrain, visibility isn't good, you add forking to that, that's going to be exciting for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting, and lots of teams per nation as well also adds to the drama and adds to the intensity of the race. Well, it's been a drama-filled afternoon for these middle distance races, both in the men's but especially in the women's as well. So many mistakes. I mean, go back and have a look at the GPS tracking because there is so many more stories to uncover from this race. So that is the 2 individual races of this World Cup done and dusted, and we'll be back tomorrow for the 3rd and final race of this World Cup. It's going to be very exciting for the relays. I hope you join us tomorrow.
See you then.